It would probably, honestly, it would probably be something along the lines of, "Oh, you're podcasting? I didn't even know." But she knows.
She's standing behind the door, like with her ear against the door.
She's literally would know. She would feign it like she didn't know, but she does.
Are we brothers? Because you sounded like my mom, spot on right there. Gotta be honest. Something in the back of my head just started twitching.
I feel like I've seen that scene in a sitcom where the mom is, listening closely and trying, like, Ethan's got a girl over, which this is
always
speculation here, complete speculation. Just hypothetically, this is a hypothetical story, Ethan, that your mom's listening in. And she's wanting to know, like, is my son hooking up, with a bunch of dudes in a podcast right now? And then she basically like falls through the screen door that's behind you there and just kind of like walks it off like nonchalantly.
That's a window, but that's okay.
Even better.
No, perfect. That would be even better if she climbed through the window, just like secretly behind me, like I didn't even notice. I mean, I got my big headphones on. I may not hear. She could just roll up in here.
I mean, the fact that she's already in there and right behind you at this moment.
She probably is. And I just am not aware.
That's like that creepy, what is that movie, Befriended or whatever? Or Unfriended, something like that. Where they're all watching each other on webcam and then the bad guy just comes out of nowhere and he's snatching people up. That would be awful.
So like any current...
Yes, 100%
horror movie ever.
Mama Turner is the next installment of Jason Voorhees, Mike Myers, Chucky. It's a long line of scary, fantastically fit, and oddly ill-timed demise of awesome people. So I'm sorry for you to be first, but
yes, at least strangely beloved.
Strangely, that's
strangely beloved, like a cult classic following from my mother. It's like
very. Can we talk about that for a second? Where would our lives be without the likes of Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Mike Myers? Where would we be right now?
Well, why don't we let this group decide for ourselves, J. Mike, and have a little serial killer draft?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Like real serial killers?
I was just gonna say,
just fiction?
Oh, this is so good.
I don't know. Probably just that exists in a scary movie.
Yeah,
which would
can we stick to movies
I guess.
versus like really creepy people? That'd be great.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, Ted.
You're not making
a got your Netflix show saying about you.
No shout outs.
As I look left to right, we've got Walk. You've got the 101, Mr. Foreman, 102, myself, 103, Gabe, 104. I know who you're picking, Ethan, at 105. Hi, Mama Turner. And last but not least, Hardy Har at 106. So who you got, Walt? 101, scary movie, scary, a villain, whatever you want to call it, draft here.
I'm going off the board right away, and I'm going to go with Candyman. Because none of those guys that you mentioned scared me one bit, but that Candyman shit scared the living daylights out of me.
Those bees. Ugh.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to the hood classic Candyman. That's a fact.
Classic.
Without a doubt. Foreman.
I'm also gonna go a little unconventional here and go with a Chucky here because people are getting murdered literally by a doll. So seems like something you could take down, but we'll go with Chucky here. Also, not a big scary movie guy. That's one of the few I've actually seen. So we'll go with Chucky.
They got a couple of those coming out this summer, apparently.
Oh, really?
One of them's like the essentially a remake, I suppose, or just 30 years later of Child's Play. I think that's kind of the better one that will exist. And then there's like kind of another version just called Charles. And I don't even know if that one's like into production yet or if it's being released. It's supposed to be like next month, but relevant is my point here. So
it sounds like Hard Knocks 2019. Raiders.
Yeah, is it gonna happen or not? I don't know.
I'm going to go at 103. It's literally been I don't know how many years now for Jamie Lee Curtis to continue to fail at killing Mike Myers. So because of Jamie Lee Curtis's failures, nope. I take that back. I didn't put the name on the board.
No take backs.
I didn't put the name on the board.
Take my finger off.
I take it back. My finger's still on. Peeling it off now.
Wow.
As a child, I was yes. I was scared to death because I actually had nightmares about this. Freddy Krueger still messes with me to this day. Golly, this is tough.
You've named 2 people, but I don't think you've picked anything.
It's like it's like the 103 in the rookie draft this year.
Yes, this is the big one.
And then he just goes with someone else.
Yeah. I'm taking Kyler.
Fine, David Montgomery.
Matt Foreman, in our no-name league, I was sitting at 105.
Yeah, you threw a curveball there.
Nobody wanted to draft. I mean, nobody wanted to trade with me. And I think Shane made the comment, this is literally the worst spot in the history of all rookie drafts. It's 105 because nobody wants 105 in a single quarterback. Man. Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, I'll give you my second straight up for 105. That's it.
Man, I should have done something. Anywho, I'm going to go with Mike Myers. I'm sorry. Change it up. Mike Myers is my pick.
Right back where we started.
Yes.
We got there, buddy.
You couldn't live with your failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me. Thanos. Moving on. 104. G Money. Bungie. What's cracking?
Hey, man. Happy to see you, by the way.
Happy to see you, boo.
Hey.
Everyone else going mute.
Avert your eyes.
Who's you said Freddie? I don't know. Freddie doesn't freak me too bad.
I went Mike Myers.
Oh, I know. I meant the other guy that you were considering. Michael Myers is probably would be my 101. The next one that probably scares me the most is Jason. And I have used his name in one of my intros, actually. So shout out to, I think that was Jesse's intro, Jesse Reeves. I don't know if he's in the chat.
He is in the chat. My son is in the chat for everyone that doesn't know.
Jesse Reeves. You go ahead and drop that bar, Jesse, because I can't really remember it right now. It's like sharp cuts like Voorhees, something like that. Anyways, I don't really want to say Jason. I want to say, because I want to bring up a story, because this is the open bar, and here we are. So my childhood was not littered with scary movies really at all until a later date. But my first scary movie that I actually saw from beginning to finish was this. I know this is going to sound stupid, but just wait. Scary Movie is the movie Scary Movie, which is a mockery of scary movies, right? And it was I think it was Scary Movie. It was the first one. It was the first Scary Movie because it was the Scream Killer. Okay, the ghoul face. Does he
Ghost
have
face?
Like what's his face? Ghost face? Okay,
yeah.
Ghost face.
Ghost face killer.
Yeah. So Ghostface. Ghostface is ruthless in this movie, just killing left and right. I won't spoil who it actually is, but it's a doozy. The movie itself wasn't too scary because it was kind of funny. I was with my cousin. My cousin is about 10 years older than me, and we had fun. We were laughing, blah, blah, blah. But I was about 10 or 11 years old at this time, maybe 12 or something, prepubescent. And we came home. We were staying with my grandma, and we had to stay in the same room, and it was like a living room. He was staying on the couch, and I was staying on the pull-out couch. And we're going to bed. It's like midnight or whatever, just laying there. And then I'm just looking up, and all of a sudden I hear this whisper, Gabriel.
Oh, I just got chills.
The best part of this whole story is I'm just thinking about.
Say what?
The best part of this whole story is I'm just thinking about the dude playing Shaggy from Scooby Doo. The whole time.
I know. It's not a scary movie at all. But that is what scared me was the ghost face dude. And because my cousin scared the shit out of me, and I had to go into his mother, my aunt's bedroom at the time, and literally cuddle up with her for the night. I was so frightened. And I always bring that up basically every Thanksgiving just so he can keep saying sorry to me repeatedly because it still scared me. And I've seen all the Scream movies since then and actual scary movies or blah, 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 whatever. Nothing. Everything's good now. But that one always sticks with me and it's a funny story. So let's go Ghostface. Gabriel.
Yeah, that's awful.
Yes, terrible.
Isn't it?
It's a terrible decision, but it's cool.
Now he's calling.
Oh, I'm up. Sorry.
Yep, that'd be you.
Yeah, you guys did not take any of the ones I was thinking of, so that's good. But it makes my choice a lot harder. I'm gonna go with I think the Chaz blowing up for Leatherface, and I tend to agree because Leatherface is one of those stories where it's like the movie is freaky and then you realize that it was like based on an actual story, and that always makes it creepier to me. And it's just the movie was so messed up when they hit you with like that was based on a real story. You're always kind of like, okay, that's way more screwed up when it's actually happening. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Leatherface here at 105, and I'm gonna feel pretty good about it.
Very good, and you're exactly right. Jesse Reeves, specifically, my son. What up, son? He was going to riot if Leatherface wasn't chosen. So good call there. Hardy har, bringing up the rear. I don't know of many other things that were shouted out in the chat in terms of what's up or who should be taken here. So I'm curious who you close us out with.
So I'm not really a scary movie person either in general, but I remember being totally freaked out by the girl in Ring that crawls around on her arms and like, ugh. And I've seen those YouTube. I've seen those.
Kids are creepy. So
I've seen those YouTube clips. Kids are creepy. Indeed. I've seen those YouTube clips of like where they set people up to do that too, like in an electronic store where they have like a blue screen and then an actual like girl crawls out of the TV. If they did that to me in a store, I'd be really rich because I'd probably, my family would be rich. I'd be dead. But my family would be very rich because they would kill me. I would die. So
I would be dead.
Yep. That'd be it.
Kids are creepy though. I agree. That movie freaked me out too. That came out like right around when I was kind of old enough to like catch stuff on TV that I wasn't supposed to be watching. And I remember being really freaked out the first time I saw it when I was like 7. So yeah, I'm with you.
You see, the movies with kids in them don't creep me out. The parents who let their kids be in those movies, those creep me out.
I'm calling CPS right now. Why would you do this to your child?
What's going on there?
Any UDFAs that we feel like we need to shout out real quick.
Your boy didn't get drafted.
Right? Yeah, Freddie. Nobody went with Freddie.
Yeah. Jason should be there.
Jason should be there. Agreed.
The clown from
It.
Yep.
Pennywise. Yeah, he's
Pennywise.
I almost said Pennywise just because I loved that movie so much. Not the old crap, but the new one.
No one cares about that old one. No. Yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah, the Ring was going to get my first one. Yep.
Falcor from Neverending Story.
I've never seen that.
I don't know if I've ever seen that either.
I've heard of it. When I was growing up, that dog freaked me F out, man.
What about
think about that dog thing like flying through the air? And
that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, is that the name? Falco?
Falcor.
Falcor.
Yes,
Was he a
I had to
serial
look. I had to
killer?
look
That
that
thing
up.
is
I had to
so
look it
weird.
up. Yeah, it's
I-
He's the
yeah,
dragon.
with-
He's the
Right.
dragon.
The,
that looks
the
like
dragon
murder
dog.
people?
No, the dragon dog. Like it's a.
right. His
We
face
don't-
looks like a dog, but he's a dragon. Apparently, I don't know.
I think that thing was supposed to be like lovable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks
I
so
didn't think
silly.
that was like a
It-
scary character.
It was pretty scary.
Freaking
I
one of
always
us.
think of
Sure.
actually, I always think of when Family Guy spoofed that, and then Peter falls off, the dragon like collapses, and that's where you get the Peter with the knee gif, where he's like, on
Oh
his,
yeah.
he's like, yeah, that's him spoofing the dragon. Like he like falls off the dragon or something. I'm pretty sure that's where that meme came
So
from.
this is segue, Ethan. Are you trying to segue right now?
No, but I'm just saying, I that's where I think of the dragon, who apparently is a serial killer. And luckily, I haven't seen that movie because that probably freaked me out.
Ethan, I'm right there with you. I just think of Peter Griffin going, yeah,
Yeah.
the dragon's going down, down, yeah,
Yeah.
right there with you.
Yeah, I would say the Hannibal Lecter should be on this list
yeah.
too,
Yeah.
because he's creepy as a child and as an adult. That performance is just it just makes it's not really like scary as much as it's just like makes you uneasy. He did
Would you
so well
fuck
with
me?
that. No,
Me.
Gabe
That's
does have a
just
good
awful.
voice for those creepy whispers, though.
He does.
That's twice. I've like,
Creepy whisper guy.
That was fun. I mean, that could definitely go rounds on rounds, but you know, we're here. Well, who was the I got Candyman, Chucky, Michael Myers, Ghostface, Leatherface, a lot of faces, and then
You forgot the girl from the ring.
The Ring.
girl from
yeah.
the ring. What's her name? Is it Samora? Like s'mores?
Samara, maybe
Samara?
Samara.
Give
I don't know. I'm not a good speller.
Samara.
Don't ask me about spelling.
Yep, Samara. Good job.
Yep.
She's
Yeah.
actually creepy looking in real life too. Wow.
Wasn't a stretch.
Wow, that's kind of mean. She's an actual person.
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah. And
Central
Yeah, that girl's
casting.
creepy.
and she's creepy.
The ring
just-
girl,
just-
Samara. S-A-M-A-R.
That's probably why they picked
Okay.
her.
In walks creepy girl. Yep, she'll do.
You know what? You know what we can envision you doing? Haunting nightmares forever. Yes. You've got that kind of face. You know what I'm saying? We can market
Okay,
this.
now get
You are
on
just-
your now get on your hands and knees. No. Backwards.
This is New Hollywood.
Miss. Okay.
I don't know if we can make those jokes.
Okay, so welcome to the no, I think that was fine. I think that was that fine enough? I didn't mean that by like it was just okay.
We got it.
Welcome to the open bar. This is live. We have not said that yet,
Speaking
but
of
I'll
walking
say it now.
backwards.
Yeah. I know. I'm fucking doing the Samara right now. Samara. All right. Never should have said anything ever. Never should have opened a Twitter account. All right. So yeah. We're live. It's the open bar. We made it. It's 9:30 Eastern. And we have already gone through a horror villain draft thing. And you never know what's going to happen next. So I'll pass it off to my main dude, my man, my guy. His name is none other than Jay. Mike, check, please, waiter, because I'd like to serve you up some fantasy goodness. Now Jay might give it to me.
Tasty. So yeah, the chat was lit all the way up, first of all. And shout out to everybody in the chat joining us this evening. Jesse Reeves hit us with Tremors. He says the Tremors is OG. We're looking at did you guys ever get freaked out by the movie Aliens?
Yeah.
Was that
Yeah.
one? Okay.
Alien's good.
Joshua Bigby, who might be new to the bar, he hits us with The Birds. You guys ever, is that a Hitchcock?
Classic. I saw that in high school. It was still scary.
Pet Cemetery. Anybody freaked out by Pet Cemetery?
Yep.
I haven't seen the new one, so I don't know if I've ever watched the old one either.
I had issues like running through all those like horror movies because I couldn't like pick out like the person, I guess. I don't know. Like Pet Cemetery, like what's the I don't know. because I like the movie like The Conjuring, and I think that's just like, what the devil or something. I don't know, like who's the villain there. So
The other one that came out was that we did not bring up. And this movie freaked me out when I first saw it because I love the plot twist at the end. Jigsaw from the movie Saw.
Yeah, classic.
I mean, it was pretty good. I liked it a lot. But anywho, I'm excited to be here tonight. We've got a full house in the bar. Wildly excited to introduce a couple new faces to the bar, a couple of old friends, and just get into a lot going on because between our guests, we've got one basically bringing Girly back, and we've got one to maybe try to either calm our fears or tell us that you need to get out of Girly right now. So this should be a nice contrast of styles that I'm looking forward to. But I'm excited to be with you, excited to be here. Happy belated Memorial Day to all of you. I hope you guys were able to celebrate the holiday well. And yeah, let's get into it, Gabe.
I'm ready. I am very ready for this, and I'm not ready at all. But we do have guests on. We have two newcomers, right, J Mike? Half. And you may have noticed that we kind of broke the rules. We went with a 6-pack tonight. We usually, leave one open for whatever reason you would do that. And but it is true that just 2 of these people have been on before, yeah?
Si, senor.
All right. Well, we'll go with them first because they're such lovely gentlemen, and one of them went for the segue, and the segue led right to the person who he was inadvertently referencing. So, Ethan.
Hey, what's up, guys?
How are you tonight?
I'm good. This is not my normal podcasting studio. I'm in between houses right now, so I'm hanging out at the parents' house and stealing their Wi-Fi like I've done for the last 25 years, and they're still letting me, so I'm still here. If my mom shows up, I'm sorry. She really wants to be on a podcast too. What can you do?
We welcome that. We want your mom on this podcast in a non creepy way.
I don't want you anywhere near my mother. So we'll be better off.
You just throw on one of those intros, baby. Pop the hood. Pop the hood.
Pop the hood, Miss Turner. Tell me what you see.
Oh my gosh.
Doing too much.
All right.
That's too much.
I'm sorry,
Too much.
Turner. I didn't mean that at all.
Miss Turner.
Happy to have you, man. And
No,
happy to meet you for the first time.
Yeah, you followed me on Twitter. That was a big step for me. I appreciate that.
I really, I don't keep up with all that, and I'm bad at it. But J Mike, whenever he gets a good group of people in the chat or in our next show, then I'll certainly follow whomever. So, if you want to follow back for me, just come on the show. Just kidding. I'm not that cool at all. All right. But happy to have you, dude. Let's go on to, it looks as if you're advertising at this point, Matt.
Yeah.
And when I mean Matt, I mean fat. And I don't mean that in a, negative way, like just referencing the handle. So what's up, Fat Mormon?
Doing well. I'm roasting my ass off here. It's been like 98 degrees here for the last 5 days. So I've only been here for one of them, but I'm retroactively roasting my ass off because it's been here for 98 degrees.
Anyone else here? Nick Lachey.
The old Nick Lachey. Yeah. Someone's getting Lachey'd tonight.
Yeah. Una Noche there. Una Noche.
Ooh, give me just one night. Let's go.
Someone had to know one of the verses.
Come on.
I was no way out.
I wasn't pulling shit out.
Happy to have you on, Matt.
Yeah, first time, long time.
That is. Yeah. Well, and I was arguing with J Mike. I was like, we've had Matt on before, J Mike. You're an idiot. And he was like, no, Gabe, actually, you are the imbecile in this situation. I was confused because we were on a pod together doing a mock draft with the dummies, correct?
That is absolutely correct.
Yes. How ironic. The dummy got dummied. But happy to have you here, man. It's way better than that dumb show, right?
Yeah, definitely. I hope that Zach and Kyle are in the chat, and I can definitely say the open bar is definitely leagues above the dummy show. But P.S. Please have me on whenever you guys want.
Indeed.
Strong.
All right. So on to the vets of the open bar. We'll go from Matt to Matt, roll over onto that, and we have you, my friend. I'm trying to remember your Twitter handle off the top. Oh, DFF_walk. And because we call you Walk, we don't call you Matt. What's up, dude?
What's going on, man? Hey, it's been a while. Last time I was on with my fellas from the Fantasy 40, and been missing the open bar. So I had to start pestering J Mike to open the doors again. Let me back in this place.
I'm glad that you could come on without your 40 folks. Not that we don't like them at all, but we're just happy that you can, individualize yourself and be that dude,
Yeah, I mean, I've been holding that podcast up for over a year now.
No
so
shit.
just,
I wasn't trying to say, I wasn't saying it, but
they know it. It's groundbreaking. Probably agree to it as well. But nah, hey, you gotta step out on your own once in a while.
Yeah, no, happy to have you, and we'll have the other 40 guys on, whenever we feel like we have to, kind of thing. On to the next vet. Hardy Har. I feel like I went with the extraterrestrial theme tonight. I said Harvin the Martian. What do you think about that name?
If you came up with it and blessed me with it, then I'm good with it. So
all right.
So let it roll, man.
All right. Harvin the Martian it is.
There
Change the handle, right?
I should. I might.
Happy to have you on, brother.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me back. I appreciate it. Long time coming. Love this show. Love watching you guys every week. And excited to be here tonight.
Do you think that you are going to be able to beat Russ's record tonight or just a night in the future?
In terms of what? Length of time?
Yes.
I can talk all night. I'm not the one that our show ends because Russ goes to bed, not because Hardy Har goes to bed. So, yes, if you would like to beat that tonight, I'm game.
Did you hear that, J Mike?
I just want to point out the fact that he referred to himself as Hardy Har, which makes my heart glow with that bit of joy that Finch had. At the end with the whole up, like I am beaming inside. That was beautiful. I did hear his words, and we'll see. I don't know if Matt Foreman can make it. He's been traveling, going through it. It's hot there. We might lose him in the desert somewhere. He might not make it.
Oh, I'm here for the long haul.
There it is.
Matt went to Penn State. He's used to long nights with lots of drinking, having fun. It's all good.
My liver is still recovering from bachelor weekend, and it was near State College, so I was about an hour east of you in some town you've never heard of.
I bet you I've heard of it.
Is White Deer, Pennsylvania.
I've never heard of it.
Boom.
Ask me any town. That's a really good town.
And the brown deer. Never heard of White Deer.
White Deer, Pennsylvania.
That's an albino.
Man.
Yeah, it looked like. I bet in White Deer you could find some quality crystal meth in that town. It was that kind of town. That kind of town.
Stills as far as the eye can see.
That's wow, okay. I don't even know that there is no transition from crystal meth to Todd Gurley, but that's really where I want to start. So
you're sweating your ass off right now.
If we can, 100%. if we can go to Todd Gurley, be great. Wow, that's I will not soon forget White Deer, Pennsylvania. That's awful. So obviously, I don't know if people are fear mongering. I don't know if it's a case where it really is as bad as they say. But obviously, Jay Glazer had reported, "Hey, Todd Gurley crisis. We've reached DEFCON 5. It's about to be a problem." Newly crowned Dr. Turner Tell me something good about Todd Gurley. Pretty please, with sugar on top, and quench the fear that has spread all throughout fantasy.
Do you know whose knees are probably worse off than Todd Gurley's? Most meth users. There's your transition right there. No.
I think we just reverted back.
Todd Gurley's knees are kind of a conundrum for me because the only diagnosis we've gotten is arthritis. And all arthritis is just there's not a lot of cartilage and the joint space has collapsed, yada yada yada, medical stuff. Basically, his knee hurts. And it usually happens when you're old, so it's not necessarily a good thing when you're 25 and your knee hurts, but I do think that right now, with the limited information that we have, that the diagnosis of arthritis is scaring a lot of people. Like, I don't know if they expect him to get a knee replacement or what their plan is. But Todd Gurley has way more money and resources and is in a lot better health than your grandmother. So if it really is just arthritis, we're probably just dealing with a pain issue. And the fear factor of this Todd Gurley arthritis has gone way past where it probably should be. I'm seeing him fall into the mid-second round in startup dynasty drafts, which is just like blasphemous. I just took him at 203 and I laughed my way to the bank because that's just, I think that while I do think that they're going to start limiting his workload because no human, regardless of their injury history, should be carrying the ball 300 plus times from a health standpoint. I do think that they're probably going to limit that with some Darrell Henderson. Maybe they throw the ball a little bit more. I had a nice little thread on Twitter about that, about how somehow we think that they're going to start splitting carries, but what if they just decide to throw the ball more and then Todd Gurley still takes 90% of the touches? Like, he's still going to be elite then. So there are ways for him to get less workload, but still be super effective. And I think the tide is much, we're jumping the shark a little bit on the whole arthritis thing until something else comes out, until we get some other kind of news like, hey, he had a partial ACL tear or something like that. I'm not wishing that on him, but I would need something like that to be like, all right, we need to be a little bit worried about him. If it's just arthritis, it's pain management, the team has got him on a plan there, he's going to be fine.
Can we go back a second? You said you took him at 203, which means you passed him at 110.
I took Juju at 110 because I'm a devout Steelers fan, and I knew that people were going to fade him because people fear what they don't understand. And so I was okay with that at that stage. And I like to go wide receiver early in dynasty drafts. It's just my style.
People,
that's when you jump in there.
Understand. That's my shit right there.
A monster.
I love that. Yeah, I didn't even know anything about that, but I all I knew is that there was less cartilage. I knew that existed and that he's in pain. It seemed like more of a tolerance thing, but also that maybe drafting Henderson was just to, lengthen his career a little bit, be a generous team, whether between the owner and the GM and the coaches, like, hey man, Todd, we kind of like you around for a while. So I don't know. I'm ready to take the discount, and I'm not selling for cheap. I've been getting some Gurley offers too. I think I got one for in a super flex. It was like Winston for Gurley. I was like, damn, really? The disrespect.
Well, listen, they backed the Brinks truck up for him a year ago, so they need to stretch that money out a little bit. But I think the Darrell Henderson move was just one more kick in my pants for my John Kelly admiration. That's all I took that as.
Ooh, R.I.P.
Just 1 year ago, May 2018 ADP on DLF, Todd Gurley is going as the number 3 player overall, number 1 running back behind Odell and Hopkins. Fast forward to 2019, and the man is going at the 10 spot, 10 overall, and looks like the 5th running back. The difference a year makes. My goodness. So Foreman, I know you're big on Gurley. Where are you taking him in a startup and feeling okay about it? I'm curious where you guys are okay taking him without any kind of apprehension, because this is one of the more precipitous falls from grace per se, for someone who's been elite and not like over the hill or at the hill per se.
I'm okay taking him as the third running back off the board. I'm only taking CMC and Saquon ahead of him. With all the Zeke stuff coming out, he's being a bonehead again. So it's just I want to take him there. I think exactly what Ethan said. People are just fear mongering. I mean, I just saw him in a super flex draft go like 205 that I'm currently in right now. He went 205. This is a super flex, but only two quarterbacks went ahead of him. So yeah, I'm buying, and if I could probably buy him some places, but I feel like the guy who owns Gurley in probably most leagues isn't going to sell for a discount. But yeah, like I would feel very confident taking him in a regular league, probably in a regular startup at 105, and I would feel pretty confident about that still.
Har, you look like you're locked and loaded right now.
Yeah, I mean, I would have no reservations either in the middle of the first round at all. And to me, the bigger issue with the Todd Gurley thing right now is where people are drafting Henderson. I've seen him go as high as the 105, and to me, that is insane. Absolute insanity. You're drafting a backup running back. That's like drafting Tony Pollard 105. It's Todd Gurley. We're not talking about like a middling. We're not talking about Jordan Howard. We're not talking about, players like that, Kenyon Drake. We're talking about Todd freaking Gurley here. Todd Gurley. And you're drafting a backup to Todd Gurley at the 105. It blows my mind. I mean, good for you guys that are drafting him that high, I guess. I just don't get it. I don't see it. Is he going to get mixed in to extend the life? And that was a great point that was brought up. But, are they extending Gurley's career here? Yes, that's what I think they're doing. They did pay him a lot of money. They're not going to get rid of him. They're not going to, I just can't believe how high Henderson is going. He was a mid to late second round pick in a lot of places in early drafts. And now he's almost in every draft right now. He's at least a late first. And people panic. We're an instant reaction all the time, So Jay Glazer reports that the knee's bad or, it's reached catastrophic levels, and boom, he jumps around. It's just insane to me. So,
but Jay Glazer didn't report any new information. He just said the Rams were concerned. Yeah. That's all he said. That's
right.
What I didn't get. Like, he just said they were concerned. Of course they're concerned. As a Rams fan, I'm concerned because they just paid him a shit ton of money. So, they can't even get out of his contract for at least 3 years. Like, even if they wanted to, they cannot get out of his contract for 3 years with the guaranteed money and the dead cap hit they would take. So your average dynasty league, it has a 3-year lifespan on it. So cash in where you can and take Todd Gurley at a small discount. I mean, we saw this happen with Gurley after his rookie year when he was going late second round picks. I mean, obviously he's not going to go that late again in a 1 QB league, but take the discount and take it to the bank. I mean, Ethan, I don't mean to steal hosting duties here, but Ethan, is this more of a long-term issue versus a short-term issue?
I mean, arthritis just doesn't, that's the problem is that it just doesn't go away. You don't get rid of arthritis once you have it. It tends to not get better necessarily, but it doesn't mean that it's going to like progressively get worse. It's not like, I'm trying to think of a good example here of like it's not a degenerative disease that just like every year he's going to take a massive dive off of a cliff and he's just going to keep going down until he's not worth anything. It's more of okay, he has this arthritis. It's now bothering him. We knew he was probably going to end up with arthritis because, studies say close to 70 to 80% of people that tear an ACL when they're a teenager have arthritis within 10 years. I mean, that's just how the science works behind it. It attaches to the meniscus. Usually a meniscus tear happens with it. You lose some of that padding. You're playing a very rough sport on the knees. You're going to have arthritis. Most running backs have some form of arthritis. So is it concerning that it's bothering him to the point where he's only playing, he's only running the ball 10 times in the Super Bowl? Yeah, that's concerning. But when you run a guy 300 times in a year, they're going to start breaking down. So I think part of the issue is controlling the symptoms themselves, controlling the pain, making sure that he feels good when he goes out there. That's what they're working on right now. But the other part of it is don't run him into the ground, and then you won't have to worry about it, because he was elite for at least 270 carries, 260 carries. So why can't he just be elite for 260 carries and you rely on the pass game more, or you rely on Darrell Henderson a little bit more? I think there are ways to kind of work around this long-term degradation that people just aren't paying attention to. Like, the dude was the best running back in the league for 14 games. Okay, can we spread those 14 games out for 18 games from a carry perspective and keep him elite the whole year? Probably. You probably can do that. So why are people freaking out like Darrell Henderson's going to get 15 touches a game? It's not going to happen. If Gurley's healthy, he's playing the majority of the snaps. Now, as opposed to 90%, maybe it's 75%. But guess what? 75% of Todd Gurley is 110% of like 90% of running backs. So I don't get it. I don't get the fear of it. It just doesn't make any sense to me from a medical perspective. And again, that's that literally the only thing we're dealing with is arthritis.
Let me ask this. I bring you my Dalvin. This is for everybody. I'm bringing you my Dalvin Cook in my 2020 first. Todd Gurley or Dalvin in the first?
I want Gurley.
Yeah, I want Gurley too.
If I think your team's bad, I might dabble with the Dalvin, but I'm gonna need at least a top 4 pick with Dalvin to get Gurley.
You know what else happened to Dalvin Cook? ACL. So he's probably got arthritis too.
Yeah, I don't know why you want to.
He's probably going to end up with arthritis. He's going to end up with arthritis. That's what it's saying. Like 90% chance.
Right. I don't know
but
why
it's not going to be
like early for a player that also has, potential issues, whether it's Fournette, it's Cook, or it's Michelle. Like all of these guys, or even back when like Ajayi was worth more than what he is now, like he had the knee issues as well. Like, why would you want to sell for the equal injury, potentially worse, for a lesser player, and then have some juice on top of it? I wouldn't understand that.
Well, and the issue. Go ahead, John. Sorry.
No, and we'll come right back to you, Hard. But I'm curious, and getting out of that mindset, like you were talking about, Gabe, with the injury. James Conner in the first, or Todd Gurley.
Yuck.
Gurley.
With all these Stiller fans, I'm curious where you guys land.
Gurley.
We're talking Jalen Samuels.
No.
We might
Finney Snell.
But I mean, everyone's like pro Gurley in here, and I'm not anti him. I have him in a bunch of places, but his. And I'm not
Gurley at a 2nd round pick. Yeah.
Listen, Ed, even back first, everyone said they would take him, and I'm not, discounting that. But his coach had him in the biggest stage, with a 1 touchdown game, primed to win the Super Bowl, and sat him on the bench. If that doesn't scare you, then shit. With the movies we were talking about at the beginning of this, we're a waste of time.
Sean McVay,
you're 101.
You're going to see that a lot during the year, and talk about limiting them. In games that they're winning, maybe he gets you that touchdown or 2 touchdowns early, but you could see Gurley sitting on the bench for 3rd and 4th quarters of games and blowouts. And we're talking fantasy here. That's got to factor in.
So that leads into
J Mike. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. Yeah, so that leads into kind of what I was going to say a minute ago there. We're talking about the fear. I mean, the fear here is long term and short term. I mean, in this season, but you're going to lose fantasy production, right? I mean, that's what we're talking about. Exactly what Walk just said. Are we all shaking in our boots about Ezekiel Elliott? Because he's going to lose fantasy production too, or potentially he is, with all this garbage in Vegas and stuff and his history. So if you're, and look, I get it. Injuries are different than off the field stuff. But the fear is the same.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Zeke's a dipshit that needs a handler in his life. But if you watch the video, he's not going to even get suspended for that. But not to say he's not going to do something 2 weeks from now that does get him suspended, but he's due for some serious touchdown regression from last year. So unless you mentioned Tony Pollard earlier, you think that he's going to be coming in and chipping into much of his workload.
You better pick him up at the end of the first, though. I mean, I'll tell you, you don't get him in the first round.
So Jay might keep going up the ladder in terms of a running back plus a first or whatever it is for Gurley, because it seems like everyone is saying no to Cook and Connor. What's it going to take?
So yeah, that's what I'm
What's
curious
going to
of.
break us?
If we stick with running back, it gets tough though, because Dalvin's at 18 overall. I jumped all the way up to James Conner at 14. I've only got one name left before it gets to be like Melvin Gordon and company. So let me ask this: Joe Mixon and a first for Todd Gurley.
Yep.
Is that the line of demarcation?
I'm doing it.
Yeah. Well, and I would say before that, Nick Chubb for me. I'd take Chubb in a first for Gurley.
I'd hesitate on Chubb. I think Mixon's finally going to get a chance to break out. I can see Mixon being running back 1 this year.
Yeah, I would go with Mixon in the first.
Foreman, where'd you land?
I'm pausing because I have no idea what Zach Taylor's offense is going to look like.
It's better than it was.
Well, I hope so.
Tyranny of Marvin Lewis.
I'm probably taking Mixon in the first there as well too, only because I think Mixon can be Gurley. So, I mean, even for me, I'm a huge Gurley fan. At some point, no player is unattainable. So, I think if I'm going to get an up and coming running back plus maybe another up and coming running back, I'm gonna take that deal.
Fair enough. I find this interesting because Todd Gurley is as talented and in as good of a situation as anyone. So this is really interesting when we face as dynasty players, when we face this quandary of, okay, you don't want to be the one holding the, with hot potato, you don't want to be the one holding it when the timer goes off or when the knee blows up or whatnot, and you want to be able to squeeze as much value as you can. But he is as valuable in terms of fantasy production and to your teams likely as anyone else. So this fascinates me how this gets handled by many people in the community. I'm curious how this goes.
But the funny thing is, the only people that want to trade for Gurley right now are the ones that think they're getting them cheap. So that's the market. It's the depressed market. No one's like full board. Like, yeah, I'm going to overpay for Gurley right now.
It's true. What about the flip side? I can't remember which one of you said that Gurley was your number 3 running back, but what's it going to take to get Calf or Barkley? I know that whoever said that those were the 2 ahead.
Yeah, that was
Gurley
me.
Plus what?
I mean, I think you're still to get Barkley on top of Gurley. I mean, I just don't know you can even buy Saquon Barkley at this point for anything rational. I think that's if you didn't draft him last year, you're not buying him because you're not giving up 5 firsts for him or whatever you're giving up for him or Gurley. I mean, I'm not giving up Gurley Gurley in a first might get it done, but I guarantee the person's going to want more on top of that, and I'm just not even anywhere near that. Getting CMC is probably a little more attainable, only because, I mean, CMC's due for some regression here too. I mean, is he going to catch 100 balls every year? Who knows what's going on with Cam Newton? We're going to see DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel take the next step forward. They kind of play the same. I mean, Samuel kind of the jitterbuggery guy. We're going to see Ian Thomas take another step forward here too in that Panthers offense. So CMC is a great player. I think he's my number 2 running back still, but I don't know you're going to have to give up that much extra to get from Gurley to McCaffrey. At least personally, I could be very far off, but that's just my own thought process.
Foreman, can I ask you real quick? What can you please define the word jitterbuggery?
Yeah. No, I
Take your
can't.
time.
Yeah. Think Paris Campbell at Ohio State. There you go. Paris Campbell at Ohio State.
Okay. I like that.
Nailed it.
I can put a I can put this action with an actual action. This makes me feel good. I
I feel like
that.
George Bush. I'm just making up words here.
I wrote that down, jitterbuggery. It's even funny when you say it, and it's even funny when you write it. I like that.
I reached out to a dude for Saquon before this year's draft. And I said, what's it going to take to get Saquon? He goes, a Ricky Williams deal. So I literally just sent him all my draft picks from my 2019 draft. I go, that's what Dicka did. And he was like, oh, no. I mean, I need like a Godfather deal. I go, well, let's say that.
I bet you be clear.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I gave you exactly what you asked for.
I mean, I would say that if you're trying to move Gurley to get a Saquon or a CMC, you really should just wait until we see him playing again. You know, sell him off of a strong start to the year. Is the gap is going to close significantly. As soon as some good Todd Gurley news comes, his value is going to go right back up to top 5 dynasty startup. And we're not even going to be talking about this, you know, him being a value at all. And then it's like, oh, are you sure you take him at the 105 because he's still an injury risk long term. But as soon as he's out playing and somebody goes, oh, hey, look, Todd Gurley is still really good at football, then the value that the discount that you're getting or trying to get right now is it's gonna go away like immediately as soon as any good news comes out, because nobody wants to sell Todd Gurley low, but nobody wants to sell Todd Gurley if they think he's still Todd Gurley. So you're going to have to wait regardless. So you might as well just hold him if you have him, unless you get something like a Mixon and a first. And then you go, okay, that's good enough. I don't have to worry about this.
Abort.
What if we move to receiver? Would you guys, and obviously Ethan, you took Juju over him.
Yes.
Is anyone taking Juju or Mike Evans? Because those are the guys in that somewhat range of Gurley right now. Would you guys rather have Gurley over either of those two?
Am I getting a first with that still?
Nope, straight up, because they're right there in ADP.
I'm taking Gurley over both of them still, but I'd hesitate a lot more with Juju. I would definitely take Gurley over Evans.
Yeah, I do not want Evans.
But I'm also like the conductor. I'm also like the conductor of the Chris Godwin's hype train. So little bias there.
Listen, he's going to be the better wide receiver.
I feel like that
this year. This year, he's outscoring Mike Evans.
Wow, Brian, we're having a good conversation about Penn State players, and you're missing here. Come on now.
No, I was following along on my phone while I was at the John. I'm dedicated. I don't like to miss. So I had it up. I'm always lurking. Always.
I told you I'm watching.
Can we go back to that? Can we go back to that real quick where you guys were nodding in agreement about Chris Godwin outscoring Mike Evans?
Oh, I don't think that's that. I think that's a bit overblown, but it's going to be close to
people very serious right now.
I'm still here.
Walk, you got to talk to us. You got to talk to us, Walk.
Listen, I'm not going anywhere.
Is Jake Anderson in the group chat? By the way, I know he has a young child, but Jake Anderson, Jake Anderson and his son.
Anderson.
I mean, listen, my might be a little hot takey. I'm not a Mike Evans guy, so that's the first part. I am a Chris Godwin guy. That's the second part. Bruce Arians' offense is going to hyper target Godwin out of the slot. You know, he could easily get 100 catches. And if Mike Evans doesn't get the touchdowns in a PPR, it could go Godwin's way. I don't think it's a stretch at all.
Ooh, that's asking a lot.
Huh?
I like it. I mean, I don't agree.
Open bar, like January, whatever. Let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's bold. I'll take that. You know, if you shoot your shot, I guess. But I don't agree, but that's okay. You don't have to agree with everybody, you know, if that's what he thinks, man. And he's done the research on the Bruce Arians offense and how they like to target that guy. So, I mean, I haven't seen anything that says that it could not feasibly happen, but I choose to believe that Mike Evans will still be Mike Evans. Now, in 2 years, when Mike Evans is a guy that wins primarily with size and he gets a little bit older and then he starts to look like Demaryius Thomas, yeah, that is a different conversation. I think for right now you're looking at peak Mike Evans, and he's already shown that he can do it.
Does
So
Mike Evans not win primarily with size today?
Yes, but I'm saying that those types of receivers do not age as well
Oh, sure.
as a Chris Godwin type. That's all I was saying with that. I'm saying he's still in the peak of his career, but he wins with size, and those guys don't age as well. So in 2 years, that conversation is a lot closer to me.
Yeah. He's Captain OPI, Mike Evans. King of
What do
offensive pass
people-
interference.
What do people want
doesn't
from
push
Mike
off.
Evans?
That's what I want to know.
I don't know. Be better.
Like, I don't
I want him
get
to be
it.
better.
He's
Yeah.
perennial, like maybe not I won't say a perennial wide receiver 1, but he certainly is in terms of the ADP. So he at least gains respect among the community, and he's shown, I think, enough to garner that ranking or that ADP or whatever it is. Like 2 years ago, it was like, is it OBJ or Mike Evans as the number 1 overall player in all of Dynasty fantasy football? And he just keeps dropping down a little bit every other year or whatever. And now he's coming off of his best season period. And it's like, what do y'all want from Mike Evans?
I love Mike Evans. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying he won't age as gracefully as a smaller wide receiver would. And that has been shown to be the case pretty much everywhere. But right now, yeah, give me a Mike Evans. Chris Godwin is way too overhyped for me.
He's 25. He's 25.
So I think the
Still
issue
25. Yeah.
I think the issue that people are having with this take is just the Godwin over Evans thing, because I think both of these guys can be really, really good in that offense. I mean, you're talking about 105 targets leaving in Adam Humphries. You know, Chris Godwin was pretty efficient last year. I think he caught almost 60 balls or something like that on only 90 targets. So, but you know, I think, is it possible that he catches 100 passes? I don't know. He's not going to probably have the yardage that Evans is going to have. Touchdowns, who knows? I think they're both. I mean, these two guys are the top weapons in that offense for me. I'm not. I mean, OJ Howard, yeah, but I think
Rojo,
these two.
thanks.
Ugh.
No.
I just wanted to put that in.
Take a drink, J. Mike.
Take it back. Take it back.
My bad. I'll mute myself. My bad.
I think Godwin's more efficient than Evans is.
Most are.
But I do love I do love Evans. I get what you're saying too, Gabe. In the what does Mike Evans have to do? I mean, he's been unreal for the first 5 years of his career. You know, yeah, the touchdowns fluctuate a little bit, but he's been, you know, a really solid elite fantasy asset for all 5 years he's been in the league, essentially. So, you know, so I get that too. I'm with you there.
I would say
It's hard to do. It really is hard to do to keep that stature year after year. And yes, he's had down years, but I don't know. The Bucks have just been like weird in general. I don't even know if that's necessarily Mike Evans. You know, it's like when Julio Jones has, like, in quotes, down years. It is almost like how I see it a little bit with the Mike Evans thing. I mean, I trust it, and it's nice to be able to get him at the end of the first or beginning of the second in startups. Like, that's just absolutely lovely. And I love Godwin too. I mean, I would hope that they can coexist and have an Antonio Brown Juju year together. That'd be nuts, but that'd be cool.
Nuts, yes.
But I mean, I still feel like Evans is going to get his 140, 50 targets, whatever, and Godwin, you know, benefits from Humphries leaving, and he'll get his too. But I don't really see him like taking from Evans necessarily. I would find it more likely for them to coexist rather than Godwin to take away from Evans.
I don't think Evans is going to disappear. Don't get me wrong. I just think he's much more limited in what he does in that offense than Godwin can be. And I think that versatility is going to play in Bruce Arians' offense.
From an efficiency standpoint, just to throw it out there, they both had pretty much the same last year in terms of targets to receptions. But what I find interesting, like you were just talking about, Gabe, what happens when they're both, or if they're both targeted, you know, 140 times? That could be
Right.
really fun to see what happens there. And with Mike Evans, and I've not been the biggest Mike Evans fan over time, but what's just crazy when you look at his numbers, it's astounding. The man is playing 15 to 16 games every year. He's the lowest amount of targets he's had in his career is 122, which was his rookie year, which is it's just absurd. And he's yards receiving every year. And yes, it's a very arbitrary number, but last year, 86 receptions, 1,500 yards, and 8 touchdowns. I am not the biggest Mike Evans fan. However, over this last, I don't know, probably 2 months, just in terms of research and whatnot, I've been looking up, I'm finding less and less reasons to deny him. And if Chris Godwin can come alongside and be that 1B to his 1A in Arians' offense, golly, that could just be disgusting.
Jameis Winston. J-Mike, you're playing Switzerland right now. Pick a side.
No, Mike Evans, definitely. Sorry.
Man,
I mean,
Happy.
Godwin is, obviously significantly cheaper.
Is he though?
where is
Because
his-
I don't think
he's
he is.
soaring. Well, what's his ADP?
I don't think
now,
he
Mike?
is.
He's probably like
4 rounds difference.
I can tell you that Mike
Third or
Evans in
fourth
the
round
first
startup at this
is way
point.
better, smarter value than wherever Chris Godwin has been going.
48th overall.
Godwin's going at the end.
Yeah,
of the
no,
fourth
I'm out.
round.
jeez.
Nope.
It's a lot of trust.
That's
You get your value out of that if that's what you're expecting for him to usurp. That's an open bar joke. I didn't do that on purpose. That he's going to usurp Mike Evans and take away all the targets and be the wide receiver 1, or they coexist, or I don't know. Like what are we hoping with in a 4th round, 5th round value? That is probably what you want. I mean, I don't know.
Listen, it sounds like I can get Gurley instead of Mike Evans at that pick. Give me Gurley, and then give me Godwin as my wide receiver 2. I'll take that team all day.
Let me ask this then. Let's play this game where we run with Chris Godwin for a moment. He's currently going at wide receiver 23. I'll talk about some names around him. Allen Robinson or Chris Godwin?
Godwin.
I'll take Robinson there because I think he can be the wide receiver 1 on his team, and I know that Godwin will likely not be the wide receiver 1 on his team. So give me Robinson.
God, this is
Robinson
so
for me.
hard. Are you really doing this?
Yeah,
Yes,
Brian.
I put your son against your son.
I can see your wheels.
I would say I will say Allen Robinson, but very, very close.
Okay. This is the last time I'll go down this direction because I'm curious. Chris Godwin or Tyler Boyd?
I knew you were going to ask that one too, and I can't do it.
A different name.
Chris
I
Godwin
would-
by a country mile.
Okay.
Yeah, Godwin, big time.
Yeah, Godwin.
Listen, I know Allen Robinson tore his ACL, but he's had one good season in his NFL career, and we're just not even going to argue the conversation that maybe it was an outlier. Blake Bortles come from behind, chuck it up, give him his 1,414 second
He was
year.
good A-Rob was good last year, and we touched on it last week. I don't want to dive into it again, but
Coming
A-Rob was
back
really good
off
last
an
season.
ACL, he was very good.
And Mitchell Trubisky was very, very bad.
Very
bad.
inaccurate.
Well, what's going to change?
Bad breaks, man.
Well, that was his first year in Nagy's offense. I like to think that he takes a step forward. So, anyway,
But
yeah,
Trubisky is an issue. You obviously need that to
yes.
fix itself.
I'm going to go down one more spot here because I'm curious.
But we have inconsistent QB play with Winston too, so I'm not sure that we can trust that as much as we trust Trubisky.
Winston, you mean QB1 this year?
Who?
He'll be a QB1 this year.
Who's that?
Winston.
I agree.
Oh yeah,
100%.
I don't fight that.
It's no argument. Those weapons.
And then he gets his 3-year deal and stays in Tampa.
Ew.
Sign me up.
That fizzles out.
Chris Godwin or Mike Williams?
Chris Godwin,
Yeah. Aggressive.
easily.
He was aggressive there. He was,
As long as Keenan Allen's there.
That's right. That's exactly why. Yep.
and Keenan's your boy. I got to get away from all your biases, Har.
I'm not biased. I'm a straight shooter.
Listen, Keenan keeps facing those
As long
silly
as-
off-season picks. I'm there.
So y'all sweat Keenan Allen more than you do Mike Evans?
Yes.
What does Mike Evans have to do?
It's not about.
Oh, I would take Evans over Allen.
You get a Lamborghini and pose
It's
outside
not,
of it.
that one's not really close for me. But
I wouldn't. If Keenan Allen's healthy, he's catching 110 passes. In a PPR league, that's 40 points. More than Evans catches. I mean, Evans doesn't catch 100 passes. He catches 80 to 85. So, and plus, if you look at here's the other thing. If you look at Mike Williams, I mean, Mike Williams was relevant because he caught a bunch of touchdowns last year. He didn't do anything else. I mean, he got like 40 passes or 47 passes or something like that. I don't know. I don't really know.
I mean,
the
we
stats,
talk about Godwin's opportunity, but are we gonna overlook the opportunity that Mike Williams has now that Tyrell the Gazelle's gone?
I think
Hunter Henry's coming back too.
exactly.
And I think that
I mean, but what does that
That's
mean?
quite a lateral move, but yeah, I see that argument for sure.
I just think if you
that-
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh no, I think that Hunter Henry poses a bigger threat for targets than anything that the Bucs have. So while I agree that I like Mike Williams, I think that there is a chance that he's third on his team in targets again, and then you're looking at a very similar season where he's really just touchdown reliant. I think that Godwin has a bigger chance of being a 100 catch guy. That maybe gets you 6 to 10 touchdowns. And I think that's just because there's not any competition. Like, who's catching passes there? You know, OJ Howard, like, okay. I mean, I think OJ Howard affects what Mike Evans does more than he affects what Chris Godwin does, because OJ Howard's a field stretcher and he's a touchdown guy in the red zone. And I think that's where Mike Evans likes to play. I think Godwin is going to eat those short intermediate passes. And I think that I would rather take that as opposed to, I think Hunter Henry and Mike Williams do the same thing in a similar regard, but Mike Williams is not Mike Evans. Gosh, that's confusing. There's so many Mikes. But
He's at least half of them.
And here's the other thing for me. Melvin Gordon had as many. He had the exact same number of targets in that offense as Mike Williams did last year, in 4 less games. And you don't have that.
That's not fair. That's not fair. Mike Williams started a handful of games last year. That's not fair, Har. And we know the offense goes through Melvin Gordon.
But here's my point. That's exactly it. The offense goes through him. Tampa doesn't have that back. Sorry, Rojo's not Melvin Gordon. You know, I mean,
all the positive reports from everyone.
Who's that more of an insult to?
think of the
laugh now. Laugh now. Get it out now.
Get behind Rojo, man. I'm sorry. Anthony Miller, no problem. Rojo, can't do it.
It was so cheap to acquire, though, like 2 months ago. Like, it was a fun little buy, I think.
The Bucs are clearly trying to trade him. That's all I can ascertain from these puff pieces.
They're just paving the way for Bruce Anderson. That's all.
Goddamn right.
Let me go the other direction before we leave Godwin. I don't want to leave Godwin real quick. Cooper Kupp or Chris Godwin?
Oh, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
Yes.
Kupp.
Yes.
Kupp.
Even I'm on Kupp.
It's
Kupp.
Kupp.
Let's maintain
Kupp.
perspective here. Don't put Cooper Kupp on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, though. Woohoo! Eat Mike Evans' lunch. And then make them pay for it.
Are we talking 2019 or just
in Dynasty?
In Dynasty. Okay.
In Dynasty.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Kupp still, even though he's like 26 already. But I'm still going Kupp. But if we're talking 2019, you watch out. Kupp is going to disappoint people in 2019. I'm just telling you right now.
How?
Because he tore his ACL in like week 8 or 9, so he's not going to be. Statistics show they don't get to pre-injury production before 12 months on average. So You're talking about he's not going to produce where he was producing at the beginning of last year before he got hurt until he hits 12-month mark, which is, I think, I can't remember if it was week 8 or week 10. I always get him and Will Fuller's ACL tear timing mixed up. But the point is, he's probably not going to be 100% until midway through the season. And that's assuming that he can stay healthy, which we have found that compensatory injuries with ACL tears the following season are an all-time high right now. So, no. Yeah, if you want 2019, you got to look at Godwin.
So what you're telling me is to wait to buy Cooper Kupp till midway through the season.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm writing it down.
I mean, couple weeks into the season, I mean, make sure he's like all right to go. But
he's all right.
You just wait to see. You just wait to see if one of those compensatory injuries creeps up, and then you got a Dalvin Cook situation all over again. You jump all over him and expect him to produce where he was in 2020, not in 2019.
Who's old? Who's older, guys? Cooper Kupp, Mike Evans.
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp.
You silly, Gabe. You're silly.
It's Chris Godwin all the way. Y'all can shove that cup somewhere else. Move on, Mike.
Last one. And this was in the chat. What up, Go District? And everybody in the chat, man. Y'all showing a lot of love tonight. Good to see you guys.
You know the blokes listening.
Facts. Go District brought this up. Kenny Galladay, Chris Godwin.
Oh, you hit me in my feels.
I'm glad I struck a nerve with each of you tonight with this one. I like this. This is good.
At least it's finally like a wide receiver 1 versus a wide receiver 2 on their
I think it's
team.
I think it's Galladay.
Yeah, I'm going with Galladay as well.
I guess you said Robinson, but
I don't love it, but I think it's Galladay.
I don't really want to do it. Galladay is just such an enigma for me right now. He's such an enigma. Like, I don't know what he's going to do. I mean, from what Patricia says, they're going to run the ball 500 times this year. So I'm going to take Kenny Galladay, but I'm not going to sleep well that night.
Carry on stock going.
It's not easy, but it's Galladay. I mean, it's just on the target share he should get on that team, albeit not. I think that
those two receivers could be at the same value a year from now, like pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't even know how much room Galladay has to breathe in terms of, who's he gonna pass up next? Keenan Allen, Julio Jones, Mike Evans. Like, those are kind of the next few above him, and I don't know. That seems difficult to me. Whereas Godwin, there's a lot of room to grow being wide receiver 23, and especially the way that y'all are talking about him. And I like him too. But as far as a value, I think you should take Godwin there. But as far as who I think will, have a better season, I think it's Galladay.
Speaking of value, are we sleeping on Marvin Jones a little bit? I mean, it wasn't too long ago where he was producing at a pretty decent level, and I feel like people have forgotten about him.
Let's talk about it.
It's that singing career taking off. I need to focus on football again. Play the Green Bay Packers every Sunday.
I mean,
then I want them.
J. Mike, where's Marvin Jones going at DLF ADP right now?
That, sir, is a mystery that I can solve for you. Marvin Jones,
98,
going wide receiver 47.
Yeah,
okay.
He's a buy.
That's a buy. That's the beginning of the 9th round. That's a buy.
Wide receiver 47, right behind my guy, Anthony Miller, Robbie Anderson, and JJ Sega. And right in front of Miko Hardman, Hollywood Brown, and Dede Westbrook, the fastest trio ever seen on ADP. Oh, and Andy Isabella right with him. And Kiki QT and Curtis Samuel. Oh, my gosh. Speed. That's crazy. Sorry.
Yeah,
I don't like any of those guys.
I'm just saying. Speed is outrageous. The speed is just absurd.
I was interested in Sega, and then I fell asleep.
If the Lions didn't get totally abandon the position this year, we could be talking about Marvin Jones being a cap casualty. He's getting one more year in Detroit, and he's gone.
2019 buy.
I just buy
redraft. Sell midseason in Dynasty.
If you need that, wide receiver 5, 6, 7 on your team to like make some sort of push, but otherwise, like I don't really see a reason.
Yeah, but he's usable as a wide. I mean, he's usable as a wide receiver 4. I mean, bye week fill in.
Yeah, I don't know.
We were having that discussion in one of our group chats. Actually, I think it was Trade Addicts. It was Trade Addicts 6. We were discussing because I had just recently traded Marvin Jones, and we were talking about the value of Marvin Jones and just how a lot of folks feel like you just can't really get much for him just because people aren't really all that excited about that. And I think part of that stems from the fact that we're no longer in the Jim Bob Cooter era. We're now in Darrell Bevel, ground and pound. The wide receiver 2 is, who knows where you can land in that offense with that. So I'm curious. So where do you guys, with Marvin Jones, he's 29 years old, obviously still very productive. Like you said, could be a cap casualty. Is he a guy that you feel good about if you're running him out there if he's higher up for you, Gabe? So if he's your wide receiver 3, do you feel okay about that? Wide receiver 3 or 4?
No.
Nor should you.
I don't.
Okay. So strictly for bye weeks is what we're saying about Marvin.
Yeah, I think Foreman nailed it. I mean, if I got to start him in a pinch or an injury or a bye, and he's coming off my bench for a week, sure. But I'm hoping he starts off hot and I'm dumping him quick.
Okay.
I don't trust the offense. I think he's clearly behind Galladay. They got Hawkinson. He might not develop quickly, but he's going to eat some targets that the tight end position hasn't done there. They want to run the ball. They've shown it last year. They're trying to throw it less with Stafford. I mean, arrows pointing in the wrong direction for Marvin Jones.
Yeah, I think I'd have more fun with something else that has a combination of youth and the potential to be an every so often wide receiver 2. Just lower down in the ADP, like Funchess.
I take Geronimo Allison over Marvin Jones.
Sure, Geronimo or any. Just pick your Green Bay wide receiver and ride with that just for fun. Deshaun might be kind of fun. Like, I don't know. I just don't really see Larry Fitzgerald. Damn, he's way down there. Yeah, give me Fitz over Marvin Jones for much.
Ethan, with the way Marvin Jones fell apart last year, what is his prognosis, or what does that look like for him to bounce back?
Yeah, so he had his injury history is kind of interesting because he had a bone bruise according to the team, but then he had off-season knee surgery, he had a scope, which typically you don't see unless you don't know what's going on. If it was really just a bone bruise, you would have expected him to just heal up and then they'd be good to go. But then they went in basically to probably figure out what was irritating his knee. And now he's limited to OTAs. I still think he's ready to go for 2019, but I don't know how much longer his lifespan is in Dynasty. I mean, I think that after this year, some serious questions get raised. I think that from just an injury perspective, he's a buy low because you pretty much get him for, a third? I mean, I think I would trade a third for him in a rookie draft. Maybe a 2020 third would probably maybe get you him, or a late round piece, somebody with some upside. But if you need that wide receiver 4, 5, 6 that you need a spot start, maybe you're loaded up on running backs and now you're kind of scrambling for wide receivers. But I think from a health perspective, that concerns me a little bit that they thought it was a bone bruise, but then they still had to go in the off season to figure out what it was. Was it meniscus? Was it some cartilage damage? You never know what the actual issue was, but the fact that they had to go in to figure it out is always a concern. So hopefully we see some good news on him, but I'll take the discount right now if I really need that guy, but not really much outside of that. I'm not like actively searching for him, if that makes sense.
I don't want to scare you guys at all with this, but in Bevel's last 3 seasons, let me go back. Marvin Jones targets over the last 3 seasons, 107, 103, 103. Darrell Bevel's wide receiver 2 in Seattle, over his last 3 years there. 80 targets, 89 targets, 69 targets. Now that's with Jimmy Graham being the number 2 option, where he was seeing more targets than the number 2 wide receiver every year. So take that for what you will. But if Bevel's implementing an offense that is similar to what we saw in Seattle, the wide receiver 2 doesn't typically get as much love or near as many targets as what we saw from the good old Junior Bacon Cheeseburger offense in Detroit the last few years.
JBC.
Paint a bleak
Nope,
picture.
nobody likes that one. I was doing research and everything. I thought you guys would be
I'm with you,
impressed.
J Mike.
That's
And
good.
who would that
I
be
think we
then,
were
that
all
wide
off of
receiver
Marvin Jones.
2? The Tyler Lockett would be like the wide receiver 2 around then, or does it go back
Paul
to
Richardson
Golden
was 1 year.
Paul Richardson, Golden
Yeah,
Tate?
Paul
Does
Richardson
it go back
was
that
1
far?
year. 2015 it was Tyler Lockett. 2016 I believe it was also Tyler Lockett. No, I lied. Jermaine Kearse, and then 2 years ago Paul Richardson. So yeah,
Tyler Lockett or
That
Chris
what you will.
Godwin?
Ooh. This one's gonna get me.
This was a Twitter poll that was.
This one's gonna get me. Yeah,
Well
I'm
done,
taking
Har.
Lockett. I'm taking Lockett.
I would
there.
I would suggest listening to this week's episode of the At Trade Addicts pod.
Let's get it.
Yeah,
I'm
we
just
we
gonna
get
leave
into
this right here.
we get into that a little bit this week. So
So you
Yeah,
don't
I'm
want
with
to
Godwin.
talk about it?
What'd you say, Walt?
I'm with Godwin. Lockett's not going to
Yeah,
get the
but
volume.
too.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm surprised
Oh
by
my.
this, but that's okay. I'll continue to love Tyler Lockett until he stops catching 10 touchdowns on no volume.
I'm assuming that everyone likes Lockett.
And now
doesn't
the
like
volume's
DK
there.
Metcalf.
You say
that?
do we like Lockett over Metcalf? Was that the
No,
question?
I'm assuming the people who like Lockett don't like Metcalf.
I love Metcalf, but I don't think that a rookie wide receiver is going to prevent Lockett from doing what he was doing.
I think Lockett's just really freaking good. Period.
I'm not saying he's bad.
There you
I'm
go.
not saying he's bad at all. I'm just saying. I mean, is that still a low passing offense still?
Yeah,
I would
listen,
probably
Lockett's
say
Likely.
played 15 to 16 games all 4 seasons, and his high target count is 71 that he had in 2017. He only had 70 targets last year. You want to think he's going to catch 10 touchdowns on 80 targets, 90 targets.
Let me ask
this year.
Walk. Let me ask this. When was Lockett the best pass catcher on his team?
Last year.
Okay, so
Shell Doug Baldwin.
right. And do you think he'll be the best pass catcher on the team this season?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. I was just curious. I know
They brought a ton
nobody
of
was
rookies
asking
in
that
to
much.
challenge
Yeah.
him, and later round guys. And if anyone's going to let a late round guy get burned, it's Seattle and Pete Carroll.
Fair enough. Har, did you choose on that one? Or sorry, Gabe, go ahead.
I was just gonna say quick that in comparison to like the Galladay versus Godwin, like Galladay is like so much more. Or I guess I don't know. I don't have the ADP right. What's Lockett's ADP, J Mike? Before I sound like an idiot.
You talk about some disrespect. Wide receiver 29.
Oh,
So he's
okay.
right behind Tyler Boyd, Jarvis Landry, and Mike Williams.
And overall
63.
60. Okay. Oh yeah.
He's
Okay.
only 2 spots ahead of DK Metcalf for what that's worth.
Okay. So Lockett is like the cheaper Galladay this season. I feel like Lockett can propel himself to that value at which, Galladay is currently, because I don't think that Galladay can really get much further. Godwin can sure get there as well, but I think it's a little more difficult for him to get there versus Lockett. So Lockett this year, sell him, get your God, and then get a little juice on top. I mean, let's not make this hard, fellas.
I'm about that. Go ahead. Make it happen.
Yeah, you look, Walk is amenable to that, so I think we've reached a good place.
I'm gonna have to trade for Tyler Lockett, so then I can trade Tyler Lockett for the guy.
Exactly. You don't want a guy for more than one season.
I don't have Lockett anywhere.
There's levels to this. There's levels.
And
catch up.
Bevel is not there anymore, J Mike. So what I mean, I'm sure it is still a run first, and Russell is always running himself. But is it possible that they throw a little bit more and Lockett gets a few more targets than 70? Probably.
Well, that was the problem last year. So Bevel wasn't in Seattle last year, right? It was Schottenheimer, and Schottenheimer had them dead last in the attempts last year, which was awful.
Right. Yeah.
So you'd like to hope that they step forward in attempts. But yeah, I like Lockett too. I'm with you on that island, Ethan. I'm with you there.
But the point about Lockett being, when we see the best receiver on his team last year. Okay. And look, I'm by no means knocking Tyler Lockett. He's been pretty good over the first couple of years in his career, but he had this amazing season that everybody talks about last year. He caught 57 balls for 965 yards. Godwin caught 59 for 842. The difference was the touchdowns. He caught 3 more touchdowns. And Godwin wasn't the number 1 wide receiver on his team. He wasn't the second best receiver on his team. Statistically, Adam Humphries was.
That volume is not even literally Tampa Bay probably threw the ball at least 25 more times.
He got 25 more targets. Godwin got 25 more targets as the third option.
And he's easily going to get that again this year.
I bet he's probably going to get it again in Area Thomas.
Easy. I'll bet that.
Yeah. Shoo-wee. That's going to be fun. That's going to be – oh, man, that's interesting.
All I keep hearing is Chris Godwin throughout the entirety of this chat.
But what most people I remember that Lockett Godwin poll, and what most people quote tweeted is that, wow, looks like it's time to sell Chris Godwin. So we've gone through every fucking player and their mom. Hello, Turner. And what are we selling Mrs. Turner? I'm just kidding.
Do not talk.
Let's call it the bar.
Hey, you don't say that.
We haven't really been laughing, so I wanted to make fun of someone or something.
That was
don't choose my mother.
I just want to, I was just going to say, did anybody hear what Ethan said there? Oh, that's funny.
What did he say?
He will never come back again because of this, Gabe.
What did you say, Ethan?
I say you don't say that.
Oh.
You don't say that.
Hey,
You don't say that.
That's actually a Step Brothers quote. Hey, you don't say that.
Yes. Dragon Hawk, let's go.
Put my nuts on your
sorry. You call me Dragon? You call me Hawk?
Yeah, he's going Nighthawk.
I think people get so excited about Chris Godwin, though. That he seems like a. Yeah, do y'all want to continue on your Step Brothers thing?
Fucking Catalina wine mixer.
Fucking Catalina wine mixer. Wow, that's what this is right now. This is the fucking Catalina wine mixer. Godwin is equivalent to the goddamn Catalina wine mixer. But don't you think that's a player? Like, if you have him on your team, maybe it is smart to sell Chris Godwin because of all the talk, because of the hype, because he's a 3rd, 4th round startup pick right now. But you also just want to see how it plays out.
Not when you believe, Gabe.
You just want him on your team, and you want him to be that 1st or 2nd round startup pick.
What are we adding to Todd Gurley to get to Chris Godwin?
You're gonna have to give me your first. Born.
Todd Gurley.
See what I did there, Gabe? I didn't insult Ethan's mom and still made people laugh.
I didn't hear it.
Hey, I appreciate that.
I didn't even hear it. What did you say? Say it again.
Say it to my face.
No, it was the comedic pause that did it. It was the comedic pause there. It was timely. It was good.
Thank you.
I don't want to listen back to my stupid podcast. Tell me what you said.
It was a firstborn reference when I said I need the first, but then it was the comedic pause, and then there was a born. You're not going to get it right now. I mean, I was in the moment, I was slinging it.
Better the first.
It was organic
time
and hard.
Yeah.
As someone who's very appreciative.
Are we
of people
still
catching
talking
bars.
about Chris Godwin?
No.
I swear, if J Mike's about to drop a Chris Godwin versus somebody.
I was promised Chris Godwin in this open bar.
No, I was just gonna tell
Chris
Gabe,
Godwin.
as someone who is so respected with their bars, and people catching their bars on the first go round. Kind of disappointed that you didn't catch, the walk move there. That was. It's not you, man. It's not you.
It wasn't so much that I didn't catch it. I catch the bars, J-Mag, but I did not hear it because my dumbass was trying to speak over him. So that's a me problem no matter what. But carry on.
But before we even work towards shutting this down, Gabe, we've got to figure out this t-shirt situation. So a couple weeks ago, shout out to Brian Harr's other half, Trade Addicts podcast host, Dynasty Outhouse, who
it was a sham. It was absolutely a sham.
No shout out.
I was in the chat that night, okay? Me and Ethan, we were holding it down in the chat.
I think I'm still technically in that chat.
After 3, yeah, you probably are. I don't think
you're
probably
still in that chat.
We're still
there for 4 hours.
Still holding.
And then on the third try, right? So he didn't get picked the first time or the second time, but the third time, of course, Dynasty Outhouse, the shit box, my boy, my boy.
It's hyperbole.
I love you, Russ. I really do. No, I really do. You deserved it, buddy. He's crying in the chat too, so I don't know what's happening right now.
You deserve it.
J-Mike.
I think we lost J-Mike.
Yeah.
There he is.
The shitter.
The shit box.
I'm sorry. That's not very good podcasting. Listening to me giggle like that, but that's so funny to me, man.
I disagree.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, Russ. I was trying to pay you a compliment. R is dirty. Anywho. Outhouse won the shirt. Outhouse won the shirt. Finally got that order today. So Outhouse, that's on the way to you, sir. And Gabe, I don't know if you remember, but I had solicited for reviews.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically been for 2 weeks. And if I'm looking at this Apple Podcast page correctly, while we have 19 ratings, we've only got 2 reviews in the last 2 weeks.
Literally no one wants a shirt.
You got us beat. I think Apple just tried to keep us down. I mean,
so we've got 2 people to choose from. So do you want to get the hopper out for 2 people, or do we just need to vote to see who gets it?
Wait, what do the reviews say?
Is Outhouse one of them? Because I vote against. I vote the other side.
Let us judge.
Yeah, how about we'll read them blindly.
Okay,
and,
I'll read them and you tell me which one's better.
Well, I already read them.
Okay,
so it's gonna have to be up to these guys.
Very good. Are you guys ready to judge? I'll read them both and you tell me which one you like better. Are we ready?
Ready.
Fantastic. The title of this: Fantasy Fun Show. In a world where people analyze every stat to death, Gabe and J-Mike, that's us, bring the fun every week with a new panel of fantasy writers and podcasters to allow them to let their hair down and just talk fantasy football. Raise your glasses to the maestro of theme music and the Benny Snell Truther. It's a strong entry.
Entry number 2. Good show.
Look, I'm
real good.
Walk out of this right now. Right now. The second of the disrespect. I can't take it. I can't use the hashtags at the end because it might give away who it is. So we'll leave that out.
Yep, or the name right after the dash. Don't do that either.
Or there's that. The second one. Always press play. I like that already. The most underrated podcast out there. Strong. Always a great time with hosts J-Mike and Gabe. Should be Gabe and J Mike, but whatever. As they bring in guests from all over fantasy football to one collective open bar space that you never know where the show is going to go. Y'all keep doing what you do, and I'll be listening Tuesdays, 9:30 Eastern, sharp-ish. What do you guys
Stronger
think?
close, much stronger close there than the first one. You know, it shows they listen.
Can you repeat those, please? I'm just kidding.
I think that the second one
I
just
cannot.
repeated your.
Is that a
Twitter
joke
bio.
about me, Hardy Hart?
Say it slowly.
Now, I can say that those are definitely two different people because I know the names and I know who they are. Would you guys go with entry numero uno? And the chat, I need you guys to chime in as well. Would you guys go with entry number 1 or entry number 2 as to who deserves the t-shirt for such a wonderful, kind words about our humble little podcast here?
I'll dive in first. The second one, because the first one was just pandering to you too hard with the Benny Snell thing. Yeah, they were trying to get under you.
Okay. Now I just want to throw this out there.
Like your
One
butt.
of your better halves, Walk, Andrew Burke, just kicked the door down of the chat, and he goes with number 1. So he's in staunch opposition to your tomfoolery.
Andrew Burke is drunk right now. Conservatively drunk.
Drunk box.
Drunk. I 40, man. Yeah.
What up, Burke?
He doesn't even know where he's at. He's like, how'd I get here? Said I wanted to go to the bar, and this is where they dropped me off.
All right. Well, that's a vote for 2. Let's keep it moving. What do you think?
Mr. Foreman, what do you think?
I'm going to go with 2 as well for similar reasons. I did
Okay.
like the non-Benny Snellness of the second one.
You know what? Ethan, just go before I reach through this.
Number 2, my lord.
Oh,
Number 2.
oh, we're about to go unanimous.
I think so. Hardy har har.
Number
Good
1,
luck.
Your Grace.
Didn't matter. 3 to
Snell,
1.
yeah. Snell, yeah.
Majority rules.
That's 3-1 there. And in the chat, they got
this
2
is
for
where it
number
gets
1,
interesting.
1 for number 2.
No. There's 3 for number 1 because 1 is spelled in the word 1.
Whoa. Goat District going
Wasn't ready to read
way
that.
hard with that.
Just trying to complicate things.
So, J Mike, what we have here is a tie.
Old-fashioned duel.
Next week on the
Create 2 new Twitter handles.
In
Leave
order.
new reviews.
Second chance draft
Run
next week. Everybody that reviews this week, now you're all back in, and maybe you can be like Outhouse and win on the 3rd try.
Is either of them listening right now?
Chime in the chat.
They vote for themselves in the chat.
Out
Somebody
house
vote
just
for themselves.
said I vote out.
No. No.
No,
Unless he's shipping it to me. Unless he's shipping it to me, and then I vote yes.
J Mike, I'm stuck.
Just dropped a review.
I don't.
I'm saying we still need to wait till next week.
No, the chat has overwhelmingly chosen number 1 over number 2.
All right. Number 1.
I see you, Big B. He said, "What's wrong with pandering?" Number 1.
Everything.
Big B, I think you want a shirt too, man. So, numero
All right, who's number 1? J Mike.
that would be Mr. Dan Cook with the IDP Edge Crushers, actually. So he's good people. He's good people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a league with Dan. So Dan, you can choose what you will. Hopefully you hear this sometime soon. But yeah, I'll be hollering at you, getting them Delco digits because he's a guy. He's in Delco. You guys claim Delco in Pennsylvania, Har?
Sure. Well, I don't know. That's like east. Like, no, I don't know. Is that Philly?
Yeah, it's above Philly.
Do you claim it? Wait a minute. Does Matt claim it?
No.
Okay, then I don't claim it either.
Oh,
Does Shane live there?
Oh God,
I definitely don't claim it.
I'm pretty sure, but Shane's just on a fucking island somewhere. No, Shaneville.
Shame.
Get that episode of Family Guy.
Well, there's that. Gabe, we've done it. I'll reach out to Dan about the shirt. And I'm going to enter jitterbuggery on the Urban Dictionary. And good thing we didn't have an appearance from Mama Turner. God bless her. Wonderful
Thank
woman.
goodness. She's here. You just can't see
Yeah,
her.
we don't
yet.
know that for sure.
J Mike, we still have like an hour and
That's true.
25 minutes. 2 hours, 46 minutes, and 21 seconds, sir, and we are nowhere close.
Correction. You have 2 hours.
I was told there'd be some Chris Godwin talk on this.
Brian and I will be
Ethan
here
and I
all
will
night.
be. Yes, absolutely right. Ethan and I will be here the whole
You
time.
just keep the feed going. You guys
Right.
can go to bed, and we're gonna break this record.
Yes.
Well, if that's the case, what else do you guys want to talk about?
I thought we were
Anything
talking about Miles
Lecter
Sanders.
is allowed.
Saquon Barkley.
Jones.
Saquon
Ronald Jones.
Saquon Barkley.
Yeah,
What is there to
Saquon-
talk about?
He's the GOAT, man.
He literally came out and said, "You can't give me too much work." I think that was his quote. Like, you can't overwork me. I'm like, he's correct.
He's a machine, dude.
He's correct.
I may or may not have cried when he was running towards the end zone for his first career touchdown because he was running right at me. I was in the stadium. I may have shed a tear. I also got punched by some guy, some New York City guy.
Was that the Rutgers game?
Just no. I'm talking about NFL. I went up to MetLife for his first pro game.
That was Jacksonville then, correct?
Yes, correct. Yes, he made Miles Jack look like an idiot.
Hey.
Not sure if you've listened before, Har, but no Jaguars slander allowed in the bar.
No, what?
Who said that?
I'm trying to win a
Oh,
T-shirt.
that's
or
right.
what?
Oh my God, that's right. I'm like, oh my guys, I'm really sorry.
You're getting further away, buddy.
Mhm.
The disrespect.
I'm
Yeah, you got the Samora walk right now.
You're the poop house
I'm
now,
really
dude.
sorry.
Backtracking.
I am.
Oh, this is fun.
am.
Go district in the chat. What up? Justice Hill versus Damian Harris.
Ooh,
Damian Harris.
Justice Hill.
I'm glad
Justice
everyone's starting to like Justice Hill with me. That's fun.
Can I take every running back I like after those two get overdrafted in the second round?
Overdrafted. in the second round.
Overdrafted? What is an overdraft in this class?
Walk.
What in the world is an overdraft?
Well, this class sucks. So
I
just
know.
about all
Well,
overdrafted,
that's
but
okay. You can
Exactly.
still like people even if the class sucks.
sure. Yeah, you could like a lot of people. I like a lot of people more than them. And as far as running backs are concerned,
As far as running, who else do you like? I mean, let's add some more names to this debate then.
Raquel Armstead.
Okay, you can get him in the fourth, and you can love it.
That's why I said I like all the people after them.
He
Oh,
just went.
We're
He just
talking in
went
the
3.
second.
Raquel Armstead just went 302 in a draft. I'm currently doing with Mr. McCann.
Is that no name?
Okay,
What?
so you can get him in the,
buddy.
Lion.
What?
if you're playing with smart people, you can get him in the third. If you're playing with your average Joe, you can probably still get him in the fourth.
Let's go.
Dexter Williams.
Yes.
In the fourth, yeah, cool.
No, Dexter Williams is a 3rd round draft pick all day.
He went
also
in the
cool,
second.
but that's too high. He has 2 guys that he has to beat.
No, he's one guy has to beat. Jamal Williams is garbage.
Jamal Williams is not a human being. It's irrelevant.
Okay, well, he has 1 guy to beat. Fine.
And that man is amazing. His name is.
So you would
Aaron
take
Jones. But
Dexter Williams right now over Justice Hill.
I would not take Justice Hill at 203.
Well, when would you take Justice Hill then?
So it's the same argument you're making. Is that end of the probably beginning of the third, probably around later.
Okay.
So, wait, Walk. Who are you taking at the beginning of the second? You have to take someone.
Wide receivers. All the
Okay.
wide receivers.
You're taking like Arcega Whiteside, Isabella, those kind of guys.
Yeah, Miko Hardman, 100%.
Oh no.
Every single one of them over Justice Hill.
Oh no.
Hollywood.
Okay,
Hollywood.
that's fine. I think there's a tier of like 9 guys you can take from like the end of the first to the end of the second, and I think you can debate any of them as reasonable over. It's whoever you like.
Yeah, no argument. I just Damian Harris. I mean, I'm a Sony Michel guy, so I just can't like Damian Harris. I don't think Damian Harris is special. I don't think he did anything special at Alabama. He's going into the convoluted Patriots offense, but somehow people are finding value in him. I just don't get it. It's because the draft capital that the Patriots put in him. That's literally the only argument for Damian Harris.
I disagree.
J-Mike. Yeah.
I've talked way too much Damian Harris over the last month. I'm not gonna do this again. I'm not gonna entertain Walk's flamethrower and his angry attitude right now at everything over this 2019.
Listen, I would take Benny Snell over Damian Harris.
That's unfactual.
Snell, yeah.
Listen, I'm just trying to get back at J. Mike's good graces on that one. Apparently it works.
Let's go. My man.
Well, t-shirts that way.
Walk, welcome home.
There you go.
You don't get a shirt though. Sorry. Somebody asked about Disney princesses.
Yes, and
Lovely.
Moana versus Merida.
the hell is Merida? Oh, that's
From Brave.
Yes.
from Brave. Okay.
Tough. That's
Ooh.
Heritage versus Hawaii right there. You know, as an Irish bloke myself, but my kid's full Moana, so I'm sticking to what's in my DVR right now.
Merida is Scottish.
You got me there.
Get your facts straight. You're gonna come
And my daughter has red hair,
That
so
is
I'm going
so
with
stupid.
Merida, even though she loves Moana better.
I think I would say Moana had the better music, but I
For
like the
sure.
story. I like the story of Brave better. So
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love stories of their mom turning into a bear? What would you do, Ethan, if your mom turned into a bear?
have you met my mother?
No.
Okay, well then you would know that would not be a very hard transition for her.
Okay, now who's disrespecting?
She's a mama
who?
bear. What can you do?
Oh my goodness. I am.
Why do
I
you
am
not?
getting
Okay,
in
so
contact
you
with
don't
Mr.
like the
Turner
story.
about that.
Okay, yeah, because turning to a bear is much more realistic than a freaking island coming out and trying to destroy the world.
Tafiti is real, okay?
Okay, that was Thor
She
Ragnarok
has a heart.
all over again, like except in kid version in the Samoan Islands or wherever it's at, Polynesian.
Tafiti.
I'm sorry, dude.
Came to
talking
Ka.
about a
I mean,
kid
come
show.
on, what are we doing here? Turned into a fiery lava monster. You know, I was angry. Got her heart stolen.
Have you ever beaten a lava monster?
Have you?
This week or
Gabe is always spitting hot lava, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Amen, brother. When's that album coming out?
just figuring out how I roll out an album among all the fantasy football community.
Well, you've been doing it one podcast at a time, my man. Systematically.
That's a fact.
Guys, I haven't seen either of those movies.
Oh.
So
You must go out on Friday
That's
nights.
real kids. So
well, I don't know. I know kids. I don't know about Fat Mormon, and I know you've got kids, Walk. But Ethan, I'd assume that you watched Brave and Moana with your mother, and I don't know.
Yeah.
who passes for a grizzly bear apparently.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be saying that if you knew her.
Goldie.
I can say it. She won't kill me. She'll find you.
I just love how you say it with a straight face.
I know. I don't feel safe anymore.
I'm concerned.
Blink twice if you need us to send help.
Are those good movies, guys? Are they good? Should I watch those this
Yes.
summer when I have
You know what?
the
I
entire
think we
summer
still
off?
have to hit this
Right
the longest pod. So let's just pop it in and we'll just do a live
A live analysis.
do a live watch of,
There we
of
go.
one. And if we think we need to do both for a good comparison, we'll do both. It's fine.
What are the princesses' names again?
Moana and Merida.
Oh, Moana's literally okay. And Merida. So which one of those two versus Godwin?
I get both of them.
You get both. It's
Yeah.
a package deal.
Listen, those two.
The culture is incredibly strong with the package. So you like to think that it runs in the blood to be able to have a strong performance week in, week out. If you restore the heart of Tafiti, I like to think that that's better than anything that Todd Gurley ever did, one or two knees.
Listen, they lived off coconuts alone. I mean,
If
that doesn't
you
look like he's a badass.
If you throw in hey with the princess side, it's a deal.
Chicken.
Oh yeah, hey.
in the chat, very much
Chicken lips. Chicken lips.
for Godwin.
Oh.
I like that part of me.
And by the way, Gabe, I have no kids, but my wife teaches preschool, or preschool and kindergartners, so I've seen all of those movies.
Do you go to work with her? Or?
No, I literally woke up a couple Saturdays ago and like freaking Moana is like blasting in my living room. I'm just like, what is this? It's 7:30 in the morning. I'm trying to sleep, and you're watching. You're out here singing.
Goodness.
What can I say except you're welcome?
Gosh, I forget that's
The
the rock.
sun, the skies. Yeah. Oh,
Let's go, Walt. Let's go.
listen. I got the DVD. I got the CD in my car right now. When I take my kid to school tomorrow morning, that will be playing.
Wow.
A little Tomator.
And this is a reason that everyone should be checking out the live show and not just the podcast, but we appreciate whatever you check out with us. Ethan, if you don't mind, I think that's a TV behind you over your head.
That is a TV.
Yeah, can you just run Moana first and then
I don't know if I have this is my parents' house. Remind you that I don't know if I even have the movie here. So I have two little brothers. Maybe they're into it.
Can we talk about everything else in that room too? Why is there a curtain only over one window?
Yeah, good question. Again, this is not my house, so I would assume that the closet is open because it can't physically be closed due to the ladder.
The 18th century ladder.
No, it's just
looks teak.
Dude, that if your ladder doesn't look like this, you obviously don't use it.
Don't need a ladder. Yeah.
There.
Dude, this is a good looking ladder.
Yep.
It's covered in
Kind of
paint.
like Chris Godwin's ADP, right?
Yeah,
Just going up.
Going up.
Climbing
I
it.
don't know what else you can see back there. But yeah, I can go through each individual thing. I'm not really sure what this is. Something.
All right, J Mike. Looks like we've really hit the peak of the show. And we needed Ethan's ladder to get there.
Viewership.
We can either name this episode Ethan's Ladder or
You say my mother.
I'm done with that. No, I'm not gonna ever say that again.
Back away slowly.
In the chat they're saying that ladder has had their attention all podcast long. So
I've been staring at it.
Yep, me too.
I'm not gonna lie.
Excuse me.
What's he doing after this podcast?
Sponsored by Warner. All right, good looking out, guys.
Sherwin Williams.
Real quick, because I think, and this was brought up in the chat as well, they wanted us to discuss Green Bay rookie RBs versus the KC rookie RBs. But real quick, Walk, I think you said you were in love with Aaron Jones.
Yes. Infatuated.
Okay. Infatuated.
That's strong.
Since day one, it's not going anywhere.
Running back 19. Do you like him over Sony?
Yes. Catches passes.
Okay. Do you like him over Darius Guice?
A lot.
Whoa.
What?
Do you like him over Leonard Fournette?
Yes.
Rarefied air here. Do you like him over Kerryon Johnson?
Yes.
Okay. Now this is make or break. This can put him in the top 12 or leave him on the outside looking in, and you have the power. Dalvin Cook.
I like that.
Aaron Jones.
Dalvin Cook.
All that intrigue. I was like, is he gonna do it? Nope. Will not.
I love a Dalvin Cook guy. I think that's where Aaron Jones belongs. I think he's a fringy RB1.
All right.
I hope that they use him appropriately.
I know that's the thing is like, I believe it so much, but I have no idea what's going to happen.
It can't be worse than what McCarthy was doing. I mean, it just can't.
You'd think,
it's not
right?
physically possible, where he kept looking at Jamal Williams right in the face and was like, "You deserve carries." No one's that stupid.
Apparently, Micah McCarthy is.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there.
Yeah. That's why Aaron Rodgers told him to go, fuck himself. No, that play, absolutely not. No, not going to do it. Carry your head coach.
Absolutely not. Wow, this really got personal. By the way, this maybe we can end on this one, Gabe. And Ethan, you're gonna have a lot of stake in this one. Josh, big chat. Godwin or Ethan's mother?
Oh my God.
I will let you alone answer that because I will not be touching that and dealing with the repercussions. So go for it.
Someone actually touched their keyboard to make that happen.
It happened.
You got to answer, Ethan.
Oh, I have to answer.
Yes,
Yeah,
only you.
I would trade my mother for
Dynasty.
Godwin. I don't know what her
You
startup
did not
value is.
say that too loudly. Just saying.
Yeah, because
Yeah, remember, she has her ear to the door.
He did look
probably
around
would.
first, too, if you're just listening to the pod. He did look around first. Scans the perimeter.
She might be in here. You never know. She's definitely going to listen.
She might be in here.
You have to let her know that we talked about her a lot. She's going to be thrilled, maybe, until she hears that I called her a bear, and then she's probably not going to
for Chris Godwin. Yeah.
And then I'm not going to be able to podcast in her spare junk room anymore. That's going to be
Mom, the Wi-Fi password's not working. Yeah, we changed it.
It's not Chris Godwin anymore.
Yeah.
Ethan is
I got nothing. No. I mean, hey, if somebody's offering you my mother for Chris Godwin, that's an auto accept. I'm just saying.
fair enough. I'm gonna leave it alone. Seriously, last question for everyone. Since we're so excited about Chris Godwin, Aaron Jones or Chris Godwin?
Aaron Jones.
Chris Godwin.
Jeez, that was a combination of names.
And for the record, I was like
Godwin.
charter member of the Aaron Jones fan club. Like I've been with on Aaron Jones for a long time. I just maybe that wasn't the best way to phrase that. Anyways, yeah, I've been a Jones fan for a long time. I just don't know that the usage is going to be what we all want it to be. And because of that, I think it's Godwin, but it's close.
I think you could say that exact same thing about Godwin. I'm just saying. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I think that I think that Jones is more likely to be an RB1 than Godwin is to be a wide receiver 1, and that makes him more valuable in my mind. Plus, I know Jones is going ahead of Godwin in any startup, so just on a value stake alone, I'm taking Jones, and I'll trade him for something plus Chris Godwin. So that alone makes it Jones.
Aaron Jones doesn't know how to run for less than 5.5 yards to carry.
Woo, how many does he need?
He only needs more than 133 he got last year.
This guy, I can't run.
What does
for less than
Aaron
5.5.
Jones have to do?
I'm not a huge Aaron Jones guy, but I would take her RB1 over a wide receiver 2. That's just me. Again, that's the nice part about fantasy. You don't have to agree. I tend to like taking wide receivers early and then stacking up on your Aaron Jones and your Kerryon Johnson and your Darius Geises of the world. And I think that running back is an easier position to replace, but I'm going to fill those running back spots before I fill a wide receiver spot in a draft. So
Talk about it. Talk about it, doctor.
How about
Answer? No.
sorry, what? Okay, Mike?
I was just saying if Matt answered, Mr.
Okay.
Foreman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I said Jones.
I have a question about this too.
Go for it.
Okay, cool. The for both of these guys, Aaron Jones or the 101, and then in this year's draft, by the way, Aaron Jones or the 101, Chris Godwin or the 101. And let's just make it a I feel like I know your answer if it's super flex, so let's make it not that.
Same answer regardless. It's still the 101.
Yeah, I agree.
It's the Josh Jacobs.
yeah, I'd take Josh Jacobs there too.
He is going to be
Y'all are
so
phonies.
fucking good. You understand this? All the shit that they're getting for this draft, he is so good. He's complete, and Gruden is going to feed him. He's going to touch the ball 250 times his rookie year.
I thought that would be way more interesting. Just because, I mean, for how much y'all love Jones and Godwin, how much we've talked, but there we go again, loving them gosh darn rookies.
And it's more Jones and Godwin, if we're being honest, because Godwin's still a wide receiver 2. I mean, and Jones is a fringy running back 1, so I wouldn't even bat an eye at Godwin for 101. But Jones, I'd be interested. Depends where my team's at, but I still like Jacobs more.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, cool. Fine.
Just pondering.
I think we'll have to stick a fork in that one, Gabe.
I'm upset.
I
Have we broken the record yet? We ain't
just to be
sticking a
fair-
fork in nothing until we break the record.
Just to be fair, I would take the 101 over both of those guys just because I think it's more valuable, especially when I'm on that clock with 101 and the Raiders fans just hawking me. And he's like, yo, I got Aaron Jones and I got this 2021st on top of it. What's up? And I'm like, Josh Jacobs is all yours. How about that?
I'm good with that.
Got that
You got a swing on
2020.
that
Like,
one?
The,
Well, it's a Raiders fan. How do you think it looks?
Say it again, Gabe.
I said it's a Raiders fan. How do you think it looks?
the team.
No, the fan. Okay, guys, look. The Raiders fan is a fantasy football player, and he manages his team similar to that of the Raiders. So how does his 2021st look?
I'm going to stay with my first answer. Bleak.
All right.
I was with you. I was with you.
Yeah.
But you know, upset.
J. Mike, were we wrapping up the show? Was this it? We didn't really care about going further than however long we're going. We did 2 hours. That's plenty. Yep, let's wrap it up, guys. This is great. And this has been the Just kidding. I love you guys so much.
Oh, that was a pump fake. Oh, okay. I thought you were actually.
Solid fell too. Oh, but a toe came off the ground.
It's travel.
Yeah, he get called for that one, Manu.
I held my pivot. Lies.
Doesn't even exist anymore.
Okay, this is truly the last one that I'm going to ask. Joshua Bigby, Mr. Fantasy Fusion on Twitter. Dede Westbrook or Curtis Samuel?
None of them.
I'm going to draft with Josh right now. I feel like he's trying to poach information. I abstain.
Such
What?
a guy walk. I appreciate your integrity.
I'll go Dede. What is it with Samuel? What do you guys are? I was gonna ask about him earlier in the show too. What is it with Samuel? Do you guys see it with him?
Yes.
Yep.
No.
So are you all big Paris Campbell fans as well? I assume.
Huge.
Like him as well. Yes.
Right there.
Yeah, I like Paris Campbell. I like Curtis Samuel, but I can't get over the fact that him and DJ Moore seem to do very similar things. And I always shy away from players that do the same thing as someone else on their team. It's like Equinemius St. Brown and Valdez Scantling. I feel like they do the same things, so I don't really know if I want either of them. I just feel like they're very similar players, and if I'm going to take Samuel, I might as well just take Moore earlier and then just hope that Moore is the guy. But I don't know. I just not into guys that basically do the same thing, and I don't know which one. I think DJ Moore is better, but I also don't know for sure. So, I mean, I would take Samuel over DD Westbrook, but I don't think it's that. I think you're both like, it's a coin flip for both of them. Like next year they could draft Jerry Jeudy and then you're not even worried about either one. So
Let's go,
I think
Jerry
both teams,
Jeudy.
I don't
Let's go.
see either. I don't see either of them being a top 24 option any of the next 2 seasons, maybe 3 seasons, maybe after that at all, ever. Let's just go ever. I don't see them being top 24 options, so I'd rather take somebody else that has more upside.
I feel like Samuel has gotten more respect on Twitter, and maybe that's just because he's the value, but I feel like I've seen him talked about more and how much people are in love with him and not so much more. And maybe it's the price that's baked into it. And I understand that, I suppose, but I don't know how you've seen enough from Samuel to let that happen. I'm still with Moore. I like DJ Moore.
Oh, it's more by a lot, but 7 touchdowns.
Even with value baked into it, though, is what I mean. Like I've been kind of talking about that here and there tonight, and I still think I would take Moore with what is he, a 6th, 7th round startup ish?
God, I hope not.
I'm gonna say
he's
4th.
higher than that.
Checking.
Oh, really? Okay.
Really?
I'm way off.
Curtis Samuel's going that high?
No,
DJ
Samuel's
Moore.
not. Yeah.
Oh, DJ Moore, yeah, he's probably like a 4th round startup pick. Okay.
Yeah. Samuel's
Okay.
probably
DJ Moore.
He's
Oh, yeah.
he's
I'm way
38th
off.
overall,
Okay.
so he's early 4th.
That's
Yeah,
a
there you
bit.
go.
That's a bit early for me on DJ Moore. Never mind.
So where you at, Gabe?
Yeah. I
Curtis
don't
Samuel value?
mind him in the 5th or 6th though. But 5th is a bit of a reach, but 6th feels more comfortable. But still, like, where's Curtis?
109.
Curtis Samuels you were saying among all those like fast wide receivers. Just give me Jarek and let me ride away in the sunset instead.
Oh, Jarek McKinnon.
I just can't. With I guess
Get me every time. Just when I was out.
I guess for me, the thing about these Panthers receivers is that like Cam hasn't made a receiver relevant there in his career. I mean, Steve Smith was the most relevant wide receiver there, and Cam ran him out of town, and hasn't. I mean, you could. I guess you could argue Christian McCaffrey. He's made.
I was just
McCaffrey
about to say Christian McCaffrey's pretty relevant with his 124 targets last year.
But he's not a receiver. That's what I'm saying. He's not a receiver.
124 targets say otherwise.
Greg
Well,
Olson's
fair
kind
enough.
of a receiver.
Right, but again, Greg Olson is
I'm
a tight
messing.
end. Christian McCaffrey is a running back. That's what I'm saying. There's no wide
I get it.
receiver per se that he's.
But when your best wide receiver is Devin Funchess for like 3 years, throw up in my mouth. I mean, no one's gonna be relevant there.
How dare you besmirch the good name of Torrey Smith, Super Bowl
I
champion?
thought you were gonna say Kelvin Benjamin. I was gonna cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
Oh,
shit all over him.
I was sure you were gonna say Kelvin. I was gonna
Talk
cry.
about a
Oh,
shit
wow.
box. That's
Yes.
fucking waste. He's not even on a team right now, right?
I think he's still on the
Kansas
Chiefs.
City. Yeah.
That's a fact. Wow. Okay.
Sammy, who?
The blocking tight end at this point.
J-Mike, I'm kidding. I'm on the Sammy train with. I've always been there with you.
Oh,
Did you really? You didn't do that on purpose. No way that you did do that.
Oh,
Okay.
it's a quality picture.
Yeah.
So thanks.
By
so
the way,
much
I think
slander.
I'm going contradictory here, and I'm going to say Westbrook because I think he can actually be his team's number 1 wide receiver.
Okay. I can dig that. I've used that argument
fair.
before.
I would rather have a team's number one wide receiver.
I've used that argument before.
Yeah, I mean,
if you're comparing two guys and they're close, like which one has the more? Okay, I know for a fact that I think that DJ Moore is better than Curtis Samuel. So by that logic, Curtis Samuel will never be the wide receiver one as long as DJ Moore is there. I don't know for a fact that D.D. Westbrook isn't better than all the other wide receivers. In fact, I'd probably say he is. Sure, if you think he's going to be the wide receiver one, take the guy that's going to be the stud, I guess. You know?
Which should be a better passing offense with Nick Foles, unless whatever's going on with him is, I don't know what's going on with him. He's missing OTA right now for personal reasons. But anyways, I would rather take D.D. in what should be a better offense over Samuel as number 2 wide receiver, who's probably the 4th passing option. You're saying that
it will be the Jags will be better this year than they were last year.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Sorry.
Passing,
it sounded like you were saying the Jags will be better than Carolina as an offense, and that is
no, that is actually untrue.
That's where I was too.
Okay, I got you.
No,
okay. That makes sense now.
The Jags will be better in 2019 than they were in 2018 as an offense.
Hey guys, I'm speaking from experience here. Tread lightly here, okay?
Yeah.
Tread lightly. We're
You wanna get
talking about
invited
the
back?
Jaguars.
Gabe, that was a compliment, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. They were saying that the Jaguars are going to be better this season. That's a good thing.
Well, that's what I was saying too about
But I think it was
Jack.
based
He
on
has nowhere to go but up, right?
I was gonna say I think it's based on a premise that they couldn't be much worse. I think that's where these two fine gentlemen were going with their.
Give us
Nick
Saquon
Foles
one
not
more
gonna
time.
make
See
them
what
better.
happens. Come on.
We're not reading between the lines, Tar. We're not doing
I
that.
think the Jaguars wide receivers are pretty interesting though. Like they have to be the cheapest unit in all of the NFL to acquire.
Washington.
Yeah, you can just get all of them.
You don't want anything to do
Yeah.
with
I don't know.
Washington.
I think Washington's are honestly more and in quotes expensive
I do
just
too.
because of the rookies that are there. Like I think McLaurin and
Harmon.
are both going ahead of the other 3 aside from Westbrook. I guess is pretty close, and then Doxson's probably around that range too. So I don't know. I understand your point, J. Mike, but you also probably understand mine in that
100%.
very, very cheap to acquire at this point. So I think, I mean, yeah, I like Westbrook too, but I think it'd be fun to, pick a guy that you like and swing.
Can Chris
Marquise Lee, anyone?
Oh yeah,
I know, like what happened? Everyone.
Can Chris Conley be Alshon
Nope.
No.
for him?
I like Chris
for
Conley,
Foles?
man.
I love Chris Conley. I just don't think he's the same player as Alshon Jeffrey is.
I like Chris Conley.
Oh well.
Well, I'm not.
Didn't win the same way either.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, but I just don't think he's going to be Alshon. I don't think he's going to get the target or he's not going to get the opportunity that Alshon had. I think he's probably their 3rd wide receiver best. It's between him and DJ Chark as their 3rd wide receiver. In a low passing offense, I probably don't want a whole lot of that. But I like Chris Conley. And end of discussion.
Seems like a decent dude.
I don't know if you guys remember seeing this, but I think he blew his Achilles out on national TV. Did you guys see that when he was with the Chiefs? And it looked like basically they showed it in slow motion, and his like calf did this big ripple thing. It was gross.
Oh, that was like the Allen Hurns injury last year during the playoffs. That was gross.
Yeah, just awful. Absolutely awful. Walk Burke asks, and I'm not sure if this is something that you've heard, but we're talking about sophomore receivers here. Gallup v. James Washington.
I love both of those guys. I'm sorry, I jumped the gun there.
Go
Go ahead, Walk. That's my bad. That's my bad. I love both. Those are like two guys. Those are like 2 guys that I've bought more Gallup shares in this offseason than any other player. So
Listen,
go ahead.
I mean, he's a clear second to Cooper, who's going to get a long-term deal there, and so is Washington to Juju. But I still think even scaled back, Pittsburgh is going to be a more prolific passing offense than from Dallas for the foreseeable future. So I'll take the upside of James Washington getting that potential number 2 receiver gig over Michael Gallup.
Is Moncrief a threat to Washington at all?
No, not in my opinion. I think Deontay Johnson.
I don't think so either. I was just curious.
I think he's the veteran they always bring in. He's Justin Hunter all over again. They want to have a veteran presence there that's reliable in the event that these kids fall on their face.
Wow. Justin Hunter.
What
A couple
about
moments in the sun these last couple years.
So like Darius Hayward Bay
Yeah.
is our Dante Moncrief now. Gosh, that's sad. I'm not even like really arguing with you either.
Well, it comes out your face, Dante.
I can't. I'm just sad about it.
Game of 1 year deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see who starts there, who ends up starting there, or how they configure those wide receivers. Because we've got Juju, the main attraction. We've got to play opposite or in the slot, we've got Moncrief, Deontay Johnson, James Washington, Ryan Switzer still sneaking around the chicken coop from last season. Eli Rogers, I think, is still on the team. I'm just curious who, if anyone, is going to step forward for any kind of major target distribution.
I think when they go 3 wide, Juju's going to go down in the slot, so it's going to be Washington and Moncrief on the outside.
I agree.
Agree with that too.
Yeah. I would take Washington personally in that Washington Gallup debate just because of the offense. I think the offense has a better chance of supporting 2 wide receivers as opposed to just from a volume perspective versus the Cowboys, who don't like to throw the ball. They like to run the ball. So I just think from a volume perspective, you're going to take the guy that has the better opportunity. And I'll take the upside of Washington being a lesser version of what Juju was last year, but I'm not taking him, expecting him to be what Juju was last year. I don't think people really get that what AB and Juju did last year is not normal for the Steelers. They don't normally have 2 top 10 wide receivers. Most teams don't. So I don't think that you're looking at a situation like the Rams have where you've got like 3 really good wide receivers. I think that Juju's going to be the guy. He's going to get 170 targets, kind of that AB range. And then you're looking at James Washington, Deontay Johnson, Moncrief, all kind of taking, anywhere from 70 to 100 targets, maybe. And James Conner and the running backs are going to get there too. So I would take Washington just from the volume, but I still like both those guys. I like Gallup too, man. Gallup is cheaper. So if you're in a startup, take the cheaper option, I guess. If you're looking for kind of an under the radar 2nd-year player, I like Gallup coming out of Colorado State.
Yep.
Colorado State. Okay,
Rams.
yeah. I know he had like 1,400 yards receiving twice, so he's pretty good too. I don't think you can sleep on him.
Ethan, that was Colorado State.
Yeah, they all said that.
No, it was Colorado State.
Colorado State. I know that's what everyone else corrected me on.
I was actually first, but I just want to make sure that you understand it's Colorado State.
It's Colorado State.
Okay, I got it.
Going on?
Preston Williams University.
What is happening right now? Preston Williams is a trap. Sorry. I heard it. Trap. That's a trap.
I was trying to see if I get you to lose a gear there.
Dude,
Go for it, Har.
Yeah, so I think with the Steelers talk, I think the 2 guys that benefit the most target-wise are Vance McDonald and James Conner. Or the running backs in general, I guess, is more of an accurate statement. I mean, Conner had 72 targets last year. I think there's an uptick there. He was a pretty good receiver, too. He's not Le'Veon Bell in that regard, but he's pretty good. So, assuming that he stays in that lead back role and stays on the field on 3rd downs, I think he catches more passes this year. As far as the receivers, if I have to pick, it's Washington for the uptick there. But I think that the running backs and the tight ends are going to see more this year.
I don't think I see a way how James Conner catches more passes this year. I think Samuels came in when he went in when he came in when he needed to, and he showed that he can play on 3rd down. I think James Conner is in for a little bit less catches if we're talking here.
Yeah, I think for me it has to do with historically how the Steelers use running backs. They typically don't use a committee approach. I mean,
but they offered Le'Veon Bell too. I mean, I wouldn't use a committee either if I had Le'Veon Bell in his prime.
But even when they didn't, I mean,
D'Angelo was there when Bell got hurt, and they didn't rotate the other backs in. You know,
Yeah, but who was
Gerald Toussaint at that
Yeah,
point.
I mean, the Fitzgerald Toussaint? I mean, is garbage. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's came in and he shown he can play in the NFL. I don't think the Steelers have had a backfield of the caliber. Not talking about Benny Snell here that can of what they've had in the past. So
Good start.
No,
Yeah.
he wasn't there to hear
I mean,
that one.
it's very possible. I disagree. I think I do think there's an uptick coming for Connor in the passing game. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. You know, through not. Here's the thing that people forget about James Conner too. I mean, he was a Pro Bowl player last year. He in the first 12 games of the season, he was pacing Ezekiel Elliott, and then he got hurt. You know,
I'm not-
nobody talks about it, but that's what he was doing prior to the injury. You know, and yeah, Jalen Samuels, he stepped in there in the 2 games that, you know, the first 2 games that Connor was hurt, and he ran wild against New England, right? I mean, the game on that everybody watched on national television against New England, where they beat them for the first time in a freaking decade. Samuels was an animal. He ran for 150 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. He was awesome. You know, so yeah, he's definitely capable. I just for me it comes back to their history of just working the heck out of their backs. They run them into the ground, and then when they're about to sign him for a contract, they don't, and they put the next guy in for the 2 years that he has remaining on his, and then they do it again and again and again and again. They've done it throughout the history of their program, so that's why I think that's going to happen. But we'll see. I hope Samuel can be a good receiver in the offense. You know, he at NC State he played a lot of H-back and tight end stuff. So I hope they use him more. He's a talented player. I would like to see him used more in that role, that H-back and tight end role, so that he can be on the field at the same time. But we'll see what happens with it.
Yeah, and early reports is that's what they're focusing on. They brought in his position coach from NC State, and they're trying to use more packages that maximize his skill set because I think he is pretty dynamic. Jalen Samuels, that is. James Conner, I mean, I don't dispute what he did early on, and injuries definitely, affected him late. But him as a pass catcher didn't impress me in the slightest bit. It didn't. It was dump offs and check downs. He wasn't running routes. I mean, it was as simplistic, for a running back as you can get. It was just volume driven.
He averaged 9 yards a reception.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
yeah. What?
Facts.
Good point.
Can't argue the stats, but it was broken play driven largely from what I saw. It was it just wasn't what Le'Veon Bell did. And granted, no one is Le'Veon Bell. He's not Le'Veon Bell. Who is Le'Veon Bell? But I think Jalen Samuels offers that versatility, and I think that's what the Steelers ultimately want in that offense. Is a more dynamic pass catching back that can flex out and do those things, and James Conner can't do it.
DK Metcalf or James Washington?
DK.
Jalen Samuels.
Thanks for playing, Walt. Appreciate you, man.
I'll take DK too.
Yeah,
just because he's a freak. He's a crocodile, but he's a freak.
I get what
that when you said that last week, Ethan, oh my gosh.
Beautiful.
Yeah, he is. He's a crocodile. He's a freak.
That cracked
he's
me
terrifying.
Up so much.
But if you serpentine, he isn't going to catch you. He no lateral movement. But that doesn't matter when you're 6'3", 225 and you run a 4.33. You don't have to move laterally. And of course, that's a joke. I can see Gabe is rolling his eyes. Obviously, the guy can run routes laterally.
It's amazing.
The guy can run routes, but here's the thing with DK. He's never had to be anything more than a physical freak. And I think that despite the fact that he will be more challenged in the NFL than he has ever been in college or high school or any level of football, he can still beat people by just being bigger, stronger, faster. And if Wilson is willing to scramble in the pocket and find him deep, guess what? He's still going to be able to do what he does really well. So, yeah, give me DK there just because he is a freak.
He probably landed in the best possible spot early on for his development because he will get those 50-50 balls on broken plays from Russell Wilson in man coverage. It's going to happen.
I can't believe how close Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf are. Jeez.
Rookie fever.
Yeah. But it looks like DK and James Washington are pretty distant. It seems that the people like DK a bit more.
I mean, do you blame them though? I guess
Not necessarily, but like you think about,
you would think it would be closer. I get what you're saying.
yeah, you think about the Steelers and the season they just had, and by no means are we looking at Antonio Brown and Juju is equivalent to Juju and James Washington, but just that the Steelers are able to provide for 2 top 24 wide receivers. That can happen. Can it happen with the Seahawks and a low passing offense? I don't think so. I don't think it has happened. And especially with Tyler Lockett, supposedly being the number one option, like, I know that we're kind of just I'm looking kind of short-sighted here, but just I'm a little surprised at how distant that is. And it's not incredible, but a couple 2-3 rounds is enough to be like, what's up, Twitter? Howdy.
J-Dub's right there next to Anthony Miller. J-Mike.
No contest.
That was one of the best I've ever heard.
Speaking facts. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I would take Anthony Miller too, actually. I love Anthony Miller. He's my boy. And he had shoulder issues. Fun fact, he had shoulder issues in college too. And the nice thing about, so it's not nice that he was having shoulder issues, but when you look back at injury histories, there's certain things that kind of creep up over and over and over again, and shoulder dislocations are one of them. So when I'm looking back at all these injury histories for the guys that come in each year, one of the ones that stuck out to me was Anthony Miller and his shoulder dislocations, because it went back years, like almost back to high school. So the good news is that once you have the surgery, typically you don't have a whole lot of shoulder dislocation issues after that. You have the surgery, they tighten your capsule up, and then it stops popping out. So hopefully Anthony Miller's shoulder issues that kind of hampered him this year won't be a thing that continues on in his career. It should hopefully be kind of over. So
how's he going to get out of that straitjacket in Lethal Weapon?
Well, I don't really know. But I know that he won't have any.
No.
No.
He lost me.
Too old for you.
Ethan, ask your mom about Lethal Weapon. We need to know.
Bringing it back.
Hey,
Yeah.
Thanks for retweeting Har. What is it? Like 2.5 hours into the show?
Yeah, my bad. I was trying to pay attention to what I was doing here. So,
Ethan, I do appreciate hearing that information, though. As a fellow Anthony Miller stan, my hope is that he's able to actually get out of the shadow of Taylor Gabriel this season and be healthy enough to actually do work, because I think that he's just an absurd talent.
I agree.
Taylor Gabriel had 93 targets last year. That's fucking waste. I'm sorry.
He dropped at least 30 of them.
That's not going to happen again.
It's just awful.
And I think 20 of them he was underthrown. So I like Anthony Miller. That's all I'm saying.
All right, Gabe.
Is that it?
we need like 2 more minutes, guys. Can you stretch it out?
Par, you're gonna have to carry me here.
All right.
I'm just messing. It's not that important. Go to bed. They're never going to get invited on again because I dragged the show. Let's go.
No, never.
No, we'll make it. We'll definitely make it, because our outros are always a little.
Outros are long.
Yeah, I never really know.
No editing today. No editing on this one. All right.
No
I'll
hashtag no
I'll
editing
leave
ever.
some, like blank space at
Leave-
the end of this one,
leave
even if
it all.
it's short. Har, I got you,
Yes.
bro.
Okay, thank you,
I
Gabe.
got you.
I appreciate it so much. You don't even know.
The only problem is that next time that Russ is on, we're
I
gonna
know
have to
he's
be on
gonna
this
beat it. I
motherfucker
know.
for 3 hours, dude.
Well,
All
just bring
right.
us on at the same time. There you go.
Yeah.
And then we don't have to keep doing this.
Cut it short to an hour to make up for made time. All right. Well, let's do this. We've got plenty to get through in terms of outros. First of all, thank you all. This was absolutely amazing. I had a good time. I love arguing with all of you. I love all of you shutting me down or agreeing with me or whatever it may be. Across the field too, in the chat, everywhere. It's all gravy, baby. I love it. Let's give you all an opportunity to say things that you would like to say, not about a specific person's mother, but about yourself would be better. Better option. Think about it. All right. Let's start. Hardy. We didn't get to the Harvin the Martian.
Yeah,
It's
Harvin the Martian.
It's not gonna stick, is it?
I probably not.
No. Well, we
I
tried.
liked it though.
Fine for tonight. You know.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Exactly.
What do you have to say about yourself?
Yeah, no, guys, thank you very much for having me on again. This was a blast, a lot of fun. All these guys are guys that I respect and listen to and read and all that. So I appreciate all you, and it was a lot of fun tonight. If you haven't checked our pod out, I co-host a pod with at Dynasty Outhouse on Twitter. It's the at Trade Addicts pod on Twitter. Check us out over there if you get a chance. And yeah, just appreciate. You can find me at Brian Har FF on Twitter, and my work's over at DLF. So, but again, appreciate you guys having me on. This was a blast.
Absolutely. Sorry, Russ. We're gonna take it over with the old record. Maybe. I don't know. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be fun. Ethan Turner.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks again for having me on. Really had a lot of fun. Sorry that I made everybody go long. Me and Brian had big dreams for this appearance, so we had to go long. That was the agreement that we made when we said we would come on after staying on for the last really long episode. But you can find me at eTurnerFF_PT on Twitter. Most of my stuff will be just Twitter stuff this summer. Like J Mike said, just got my doctorate in PT, so I talk a lot about injuries in the NFL. Recently, I did do injury histories for almost 200 rookies for dynasty101.com. You can actually go buy that right now for $4. That's it, $4. And you can get probably 200 plus hours worth of injury histories. And I do risk assessments for all those guys. Last year, the guys that I rated as a high injury risk missed on average over 3 games during the year. So if you don't think that information is valuable, you're probably doing Dynasty wrong. So you can go onto that website, find that. That's kind of my magnum opus, IDP and offensive players. So quite a lot of good stuff there. I also do not do a lot of writing this summer because I'm trying to pass my boards, but you can find quotes and things that I do. I do a lot of medical advising for FF Statistics and for Dynasty Happy Hour. So you can find some stuff from me in works of other great podcasters and artists and writers over there with those websites. So again, thanks for having me on. A lot of good times.
Absolutely. And I think we can all agree that we hope you can be like Kawhi and get them boards. Right, J Mike? Right? That was great. Fat Mormon, on to the next. So happy to have you on our show, not that other dumb show where we just mock draft all night. We just talk about so many interesting things on here. But really, it was a pleasure to have you on. What would you like to say about yourself?
You can find me at Fat Mormon. I'm kind of all over the place anymore. I'm on with the dummies. I'm on with the Married to the Game guys. I think I'm only on with them when one of them has a baby, but I think one of them's due soon. So Yeah, so
Is
you
that
should
a South
probably
Carolina joke?
yeah, you know, I think they're all pregnant or just had a baby, so I'll probably be over there pretty frequently, hanging out over at Jay Wayne's. But yeah, my work is over at Dynasty Trade Calculator. Did a pretty extensive hand in their rookie scouting report with myself and Mr. Buymaster. So yeah, you can catch me around. I'm around the block.
Now, I do forget this because you mentioned it when we were on the mock show. Did your wife win Educator of the Year, or was she up for nomination?
She was up for nomination. She did finish in second place.
Uh,
So we did get a nice $500 check from it. So can't complain.
All
We
right.
didn't get. We did not get the. We did not get the Beamer for the year, but we did get a $500 check. So
all right. Well, that's just
So-
not as cool.
she was not. There's a lot of work that goes into being teacher of the year. So she's
Yes.
moving schools next year. So she wasn't super upset about it. So we were more happy with the free $500 and less extra work. So
Fair enough. You're just spending money on gas and a Beamer all year, anyways.
exactly.
But shout out to your wife, man. I
I was gonna
can
say,
appreciate that
I
from
w-
an educator standpoint.
I was
So
gonna-
it's a huge
I
feat.
w- I was gonna say I couldn't tout my wife again. So sorry, Melissa. She's been asleep for 3 hours. So
Why are you talking about topping your wife on our podcast, man? It's weird.
That's also the reason that she's going to be up at 5:30 with Moana playing, and you're going to be so upset tomorrow morning.
You're like singing at your thermostat, Har. Stop it. I need to watch that, guys. Still kind of mad. We would have finished it by now if Ethan just threw it on like 2 hours ago. All right. And last but certainly not least, walk. Teaching us all the walks of life, especially Godwin's.
Listen, speaking of Godwin, found Ryan McDowell. Which wide receiver do you prefer in Dynasty? A poll, 4,300 votes from 3 days ago. Chris Godwin and Robert Woods, who won the poll.
Godwin.
Woods.
Godwin, 54%. Twitter's there already. Robert Woods.
Those are like wide receiver two. Those are both wide. Well, I don't know. I don't even know who the wide receiver two is on the Rams. It's like every single one of them are wide receiver twos.
There's so much to be had there.
Well, let's.
Down to full.
I always just reel you back in, don't I?
Well, I just want to talk about Chris Godwin one more time. Listen, thanks for having me on, guys. I learned the word jitterbuggery. Got to speak with 3 new friends in the Dynasty industry. You know, I love doing this. You know, I write once in a while for Dynasty Football Factory, and I change lives over at the Fantasy 40. So, you know, if you don't know me by now, you're doing fantasy wrong.
You know what? You're so nice to those guys, those dweebs over there, for them to be able to pod with such a celebrity. So kind.
So they found me.
Shout out to all of you. I believe that all of you are on a pod except for Ethan. Are you on a pod, Ethan? I know you just went through your whole thing, but you are not on a pod, right?
Yeah, so I've got some stuff in the works, but nothing officially as far as being on a podcast.
Okay.
I will make a lot of repeated guest spots this season, but nothing like this is my podcast. So
Right.
if you guys need somebody to talk about injuries, you know I'm here for you.
Well, you shouldn't just invite yourself onto the open bar like that. You should at least ask your mother first.
I should.
But no, I'm totally kidding. Totally kidding. I love all of you guys. It's so fun. Go listen to podcasts. Go listen to guest spots and go read everything. Ethan, I'm not even just trying to backtrack, do the Samara here. I'm so happy to talk to people who know things. What was say the fear thing one more time? Because that shit is still my favorite.
The fear thing?
Yeah. People fear what they don't.
Yeah, people fear what they don't. People fear what they don't understand.
Yes. See,
And that's why you need to follow me for injuries. That's great.
gosh, just preach, baby. All right. And J Mike, my dude, my man, what do you have to say to the people?
I've got way more shout outs now before we go than typical to our guests. Man, thank you guys so much. Grateful to be with you. I always enjoy my Tuesday nights. I was literally telling a guest over at our house, my wife had been talking with for the last 3+ hours, actually, just how much I look forward to Tuesday nights and to be able to chop it up, obviously with you, Gabe, but also with our guests and just a great bunch of cats, people who I thoroughly enjoy being with. I'm just so grateful for this time. I'm so grateful. So probably 10 too many mama jokes, unless we were like actually boys. So Ethan, if we upset you at all, I hope we didn't. But I had a great time with you guys tonight, and I'm thankful for you. Please know that. So Hardy Har, my man, I appreciate you. Outhouse, your shirt is on the way. You're the man. Appreciate you as well. Matt, you've been killing it over with Married to the Game, by the way. Obviously, it's one of my favorite pods to listen to. You do good work over there. So I know that Casey, I'm pretty sure they're having theirs any day now, and then of course Jay Wayne, they'll be having theirs sometime later as well. So I'm pretty sure you'll be getting plenty of work here in the coming weeks.
Yes, and I was just talking to Jay Wayne about getting back on there or just going over and hanging out with them, which could turn into a podcast. So we'll see what happens with that.
That's fun. Too much fun. Walk, golly, just such a man, just the man. We don't talk enough in between time, but golly, I always enjoy the heck out of you, man. So appreciate you, everybody in the chat. Golly, thank you guys so much for joining us. JDB even came through. I know JDB said he's going to be working Tuesday nights for the foreseeable future, but he made some time to pop in with us. So thank you, Burke, Go District, Bigby, everybody else. So many people came through this evening. Thank you guys. The Dynasty Dummies, the folks that allow me to be able to do some nonsense with them and show them love. Zach and Kyle, you guys are appreciated. And I think I'll leave it there. Oh, to my son, Jesse Reeves. Jesse, I love you, son. Go to bed. Chill out with the mojitos. You can find me on Twitter at JMikeCheck, at JMICCheck. You can find oh, if you don't watch this live, you're not going to understand what that was about. You missed out. You can find Gabe on Twitter at FFManBun, and you can find the show's handle at the Open Bar FP. Gabe, take us home. I can't. Ethan's killing me. His intellect and his doctoral skills. I can't compete. I can't do anything. I can't do anything right. I'm going to bed. I love you. You're awesome. Appreciate you guys.
I know he could secretly probably body all of us, but he's too nice of a guy to like do it. I want the heat, Ethan. Heath and me. Hey, I saw the chat real quick. JDB, I love you. I'm kidding. You're not a dweeb. I just like to call people dweebs because it's a funny word.
Oh, Gabe, I got one more. Sorry.
Yeah.
Major shout out to the other the other review that we had on iTunes. That was our homie, Two Drink. Two Drink, you are appreciated. He shows us a ton of love as well. So thank you, Two Drink, for the kind words. Absolutely dope dude. Yes, that's all I got. Sorry. As you were.
He has been frequent in recent weeks in terms of propping us up and saying positive things all across the board. So yeah. Shout out to Two Drink as well. I agree. All right, that's it. I don't know what else we can say. We have a store that people are winning things from for doing reviews, and what else did they do? What was the other one that they won? Oh, they had to retweet that a couple weeks ago where it was rigged for our house, or shitbox rather. All right. So yeah, I got you hard. Don't you worry, buddy. I got you on time and nicknames. We got a store. Maybe we'll add some things sometime. I don't know. There's definitely something from tonight that's got to be on there. I don't know how it's not, but
Godwin versus. It has to be Godwin versus.
Godwin versus, yeah,
Or jitterbuggery, one of the two.
yeah, jitterbuggery. Boy, howdy. Working on intros for people. I'm busy between moving and things, and I'm trying to work on it. And I'll get to it as soon as I can. I'm sorry. Thank you. Okay. J Mike, we've got a show next week, correct? You have to unmute yourself to tell me that we have a show.
I had too much. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I had too much going on.
Yeah.
Yes. Show next week. The summer
All right.
months will be interesting because I know that you're traveling. I
Mhm.
know that I've got some stuff going on as well. So we'll see how the end of June looks. But we have shows up until approximately the end of June.
All right. Can't wait for those. Yeah, we sent out a tweet and everyone was just like, yeah, open bar me, batch. And we're like, yeah, come on over. I'll follow you back, since that's apparently how I do things. Sorry to people. All right, so we'll see y'all next week. Yep, I think J Mike said everything. So put your drinks up. Give a little cheers, whether it's water, whether it's beer, whether it's clear, I don't care. Just put us in your ear and watch us if you're here on Tuesday nights. We love you. Oh, okay, J Mike, that's about enough of that. Snell, yeah. All right, and we're gonna see y'all next week. Deuces.